Our epic begins deep inside the Silver Dragon dungeon. Two terrifying scaled beasts guard this hellish prison. Enter Roswys, the stunning Silver Dragon Queen. She dismisses the heavy guard, demanding absolute privacy with her captive. Shackled in heavy iron sits Leon Cosmo. The legendary dragon-slaying powerhouse himself is completely locked down. Flashing a wicked smirk, Roswys ruthlessly mocks him. How does it feel becoming absolute trash before the mighty dragons? Leon stays icy cold, practically begging for death. Totally amused, she glides forward, tilting his bruised chin upward. That fierce glare and raw handsome aura completely hook her. She slowly trails a razor-sharp talon down his jawline, drawing fresh blood. Leon aggressively snaps his head away, denying her any twisted satisfaction. If she wants him dead, he coldly demands a fast, brutal end. But Roswys loves dragging things out. She seductively tastes his spilled blood, insanely offering this lethal hunter a spot in her clan. Leon brutally laughs in her face, calling her unworthy of his power. Her eyes blaze with instant fury. Bam! Her massive tail violently crushes him against the stone. Pinning him down beneath her elegant heel, she genuinely admires his insane guts. This guy is built completely different. Once worshipped as humanity's ultimate savior, Leon suffered a backstabbing betrayal, rotting in this cage. His grand mission to wipe out all dragons just went up in smoke. Roswys laughs bitterly, rubbing his pathetic downfall right in his face. No bloodline left, zero future. His legendary name is basically deleted from history. Through the savage insults, Leon drops a chilling warning about human willpower. The queen instantly chokeslams him, gripping his throat. Her claws dig deeper. She silently curses his unbreakable, rock-solid stubbornness. Shifting to her absolute boss voice, she asks if he is finally ready to cry for mercy. He grins darkly, exposing her fatal error, isolating herself with the ultimate apex predator. Mistake number 2, swallowing his tainted blood. Before panic can even register in her eyes, Leon detonates a highly illegal ancient spell. The devastating blood curse awakens magic surges violently. Roswys violently staggers backward, completely paralyzed by an overwhelming mind-bending desire. Her legs give out her own biology, turning against her. Leon stares like a villain, promising her a permanent lifetime sentence of pure agony. Suddenly, Roswys pounces on him, shifting this standoff into something wildly heated. Leon's brain straight up short circuits. Completely dominated by the hex, the royal tyrant crashes her lips onto his. The hardcore hero blushes furiously. Hours vanish. As the dark magic fades, Roswys snaps back to reality. Completely traumatized and burning with rage, she screams, "What the hell did you do?" Leon breaks down the terrifying reality of the hex, a legendary one-shot spell chaining their very souls together. Upon his death, she faces eternal torture. Roswys scoffs, demanding why it triggered such a wildly inappropriate reaction. Leon awkwardly confesses he totally miscalculated that spicy side effect, but clearly, this forbidden magic is way deeper than any textbook described. Blushing super hard, the queen finally processes her absolutely doomed reality. Dragon culture demands intense loyalty to one partner, meaning her romantic life is officially over. She can never choose another king, produce royal heirs, or ever live down this massive scandal. In a crazy twist of fate, Leon scored his ultimate payback. She mocked his dead-end bloodline. Yet now she suffers that exact same curse. Going absolutely feral, she readies a killer blow, but Leon calmly halts her attack. "Save your energy, I am already clocking out." As his vision blurs into darkness, he drops one last spiteful wish, demanding she survive in agonizing hatred, carrying his venomous legacy forever. Seconds later, the legendary hero flatlines completely. Roswys freezes like a statue, completely mind-blown by his petty, brilliant payback. This lowly mortal actually played her flawlessly, executing a revenge plot she never saw coming. Refusing to accept defeat, she forcefully brands his lifeless chest with the royal silver crest. Leon possessed an absolutely insane origin story. At age 5, he choked out a demon hound bare-handed, catching the eye of a legendary veteran, who immediately drafted him as a disciple. Hitting 10, he stormed the elite Imperial Academy, speed-running the curriculum in just 4 years, emerging as their youngest, most terrifying prodigy. By 15, he ascended to hero status, casually slaughtering massive drakes and conquering lost lands for the Empire. His aura radiated pure hope nationwide, until his shocking kidnapping 2 years prior. But suddenly, Leon violently jolts awake, screaming desperately, clutching his chest. Slowly, his frantic breathing drops back to normal. Catching his breath, his eyes scan the area, realizing he is trapped in an unfamiliar bedroom. Totally bewildered, he questions his reality. Until the wooden door creaks open, a tiny girl wanders inside, her glowing innocence completely catching him off guard. Blinking hard, he totally failed to process this madness. He absolutely thought he respawned in heaven after hard-carrying humanity, but boy was he wrong. "Who exactly are you?" Leon stammers, brain lagging. Flashing an angelic smile, the kid replies, "I am Wen." While her cute vibe warms his frozen heart, something feels completely off. Her hair, a wild split of pure black and white, looks insanely mystical. She casually drops that her mom named her after the moon, breaking his brain even more. Do celestial angels even have moms? Dropping his name, Mwen beams with pure joy. Leon translates to lion, she happily shouts. Taken aback, he questioned her source. Her innocent smile returned. My mommy told me. A suffocating dread suddenly clawed at Leon's throat. Who is your mommy? He probed carefully. Rosweiss Mwen chirped brightly. Leon's blood ran cold. That cursed name struck like lightning, shattering his reality. Wait. Am I your dad? Mwen beamed with joy. Yup. Pure panic hijacked his brain. How on earth was this real? A secret love child with the enemy, before reality fully hit. Mwen spun toward the doorway. A terrifying silhouette materialized, sending absolute terror down Leon's spine. Mommy, Daddy's finally awake. The toddler cheered, sprinting over happily. Rosweiss's lips twisted into a dark, predatory smirk, completely devoid of any maternal warmth. While the kid thought her mom was thrilled about their cute daily visits, Rosweiss flashed a downright sinister glare, gently petting the clueless girl's hair. Run along and play, sweetie, she purred dangerously. Daddy and I need a private chat. The second the door clicked, Leon glared at his nightmare. Is she actually ours? He demanded. Obviously, she smirked, slamming the room shut with her massive tail. Our very own flesh and blood. Leon's brain short-circuited. Why keep her? Why spare my life? You've been in a coma for 2 whole years, the dragoness hissed. I remember everything you did, and payback is long overdue. Furious fire ignited in Leon's gaze. I didn't ask for this. We're sworn enemies. The queen's aura darkened. Oh, so I was just torture to you. Her scaly tail whipped around his ankle, slamming him onto the mattress as she mounted him, violently ripping his shirt apart as her eyes glowed with malice. Whispering an ancient hex, she prepared to bind his soul forever. Leon desperately pleaded for mercy, but she ignored his cries. Slamming her palm against his heart, a blinding magical crest erupted, branding his flesh with the ultimate dragon sigil. You're never escaping me, the tyrant proclaimed. You belong to me now. Leon knew this demonic tattoo was a total death sentence. His guild would instantly brand him a traitor who bowed to the scaly beasts. Draconic wrath was legendary, a psychotic, relentless thirst for payback. This twisted queen didn't just want him beaten. She craved his absolute humiliation and total enslavement. As the vicious hex finished, an intoxicating, uncontrollable submission washed over Leon. For the villainess, this was ultimate victory. Humanity's most legendary dragon executioner was now reduced to her personal pet. Gossip exploded across the Silver Palace. The Supreme Sovereign's new hubby was finally awake. Even the terrified servants sensed her dangerously cheerful vibe. Crouched in the shadows, Leon eavesdropped on the horrific rumors of his new marriage and felt utterly sick. The psycho had officially crowned him her royal consort. Nobody understood the pure monster she truly was. She had relentlessly tormented him for 24 hours straight, leaving his mortal body completely wrecked. His entire spine felt pulverized, yet his warrior spirit blazed with sheer defiance. I refused to be her captive toy, our hero swore. Under midnight's cover, he ghosted out of the hellish bedchamber, creeping toward the fortress exit. 4 hulking reptilian sentinels blocked the perimeter, making a clean break look absolutely suicidal. Yet the stronghold felt suspiciously dead, way fewer patrols than his last raid. 2 years ago, something screamed, trap. While desperately scanning for blind spots, he spotted a shady tunnel hidden in the brush. A faint glimmer of freedom peeked through. Suspecting a deadly snare, Leon still dove right in. He had to break out 0 exceptions. Shimmying through the claustrophobic dirt shaft, he spat a toxic goodbye to the deranged dragon dictator. As for the ultra-cute kiddo Mwen, she was strictly staying out of this messy drama. High above on the terrace, Mwen rushed her mom, joyfully shouting, "Daddy's digging a doggy door." The scaly empress, lounging in a bikini and sipping wine, cackled at her husband's pathetic stunt. The toddler tilted her head, confused. "When are we gonna fish him back, Mommy?" The wicked queen flashed a devious smirk. "Not fish, my little monster. We're going to catch him." The kiddo nodded, slightly puzzled, but echoed, "Catch him back." As darkness swallowed the realm, Leon successfully breached the fortress walls, sprinting into the pitch-black woods. Driven by pure adrenaline, he aimed for the treacherous peaks, his only gateway back to human civilization. Hours evaporated, and our protagonist felt confident. He had officially ghosted the monster queen. But his victory was painfully brief. The heavens suddenly eclipsed as Rosweiss materialized above, in her terrifying draconic form. Spreading her massive wings, she mockingly applauded his sprint. Not bad, touching down with earth-shattering grace. Her fangs bared in a sadistic grin. "I intentionally pulled the security and dug that pathetic doggy door just for you." Leon swore internally, realizing he was completely played. Unyielding, he dashed away. Even knowing that running back to human territory, now carrying a demonic slave seal, meant absolutely nobody would believe his legendary Slayer status anymore. Roswisa, heavily entertained by his pointless struggling, dive-bombed and snatched him like a helpless ragdoll. Skyrocketing into the stratosphere, she cruised toward human lands, her razor-sharp talons locked tight. After a grueling airborne joyride, she unceremoniously dumped him outside a human border town, slamming him into the dirt. Bruised and disoriented, Leon staggered up, catching the nostalgic glow of human city lights. The tyrant queen, morphing back into humanoid shape, loomed over him and smugly declared, "Surprise, honey. We're in your territory now." For normal people, reaching home meant absolute survival. But escape remained a pure delusion. Before Leon could even blink, that cursed sigil scorched his chest, radiating raw mana. Blistering heat hijacked his veins. Rosswise flashed a wicked smirk. "Right, I forgot the lore. When one sigil bearer craves connection, the other becomes a complete puppet." That devastating truth hit Leon like a thunderbolt. The ultimate disrespect. His desperate resistance totally crumbled against her absolute command. Snatching her wrist with shaking fingers, Leon shot daggers into her soul. "I will return this disrespect double, I swear it," utterly entertained. Rosswise purred, her predatory eyes trapping him. "I will eagerly await that, dead or breathing." Hours faded. Beneath some ancient shade near the border limits, destiny forced their toxic dynamic again. The dragon monarch looked absolutely glowing, while Leon sat hollowed out, simmering with silent rage. Tracing his branded chest, Rosswise dropped a casual threat. "Honestly, dragging you here monthly sounds like an absolute vibe. Crashing your territory could be peak entertainment." Leon clenched his jaw, refusing to shatter. "I am nobody's helpless loot. I am hiking back to salvage my shattered pride." Rosswise arched a flawless brow. "Hike? That is a brutal 15-day death march." "Never count human willpower out," Leon growled. Rosswise just flashed a devious grin. Treating this like a twisted social experiment, she stalked his shadow silently, enjoying his pathetic stumbling marathon. Hours bled away before Leon spotted armored patrols. Imperial dragon slayers. Pure hope electrified him. But Rosswise's murderous aura screamed one warning. "Snitch and these guys get totally wiped." A plated soldier jogged over. "Need a map?" he asked respectfully. Leon plastered on a fake smile, capping hard. "Nope, just enjoying nature." The guy dismounted, claiming his title as captain of the 47th Unit. "This zone is basically a death trap for tourists," he warned, pointing toward the monster-infested tree line. His bodyguard offer threw Leon into a total panic attack. Cold sweat dropped as Leon's hands began violently shaking, while frantically praising the captain's vibe, swearing they were martial arts experts who could easily solo the woods. Reality check. He needed this guy gone yesterday. The captain, recognizing Leon, immediately triggered the Dragon Queen's lethal instincts. Her pupils slit like a predator. Invisible mana swirled around her fingertips, fully prepped to erase this captain from existence. Sensing the incoming bloodbath, Leon went into overdrive. He snatched the monarch's hand, yanking her flush against his racing heart. Sweating bullets, he laughed off the ID check. "I am literally an NPC, bro," he joked, adding that even his gorgeous wife, the hidden dragon, forgot his face sometimes. Closing the gap, Leon breathed frantic whispers, pleading for her to match his energy, swearing he would surrender and follow her home if she spared this squad. Highly entertained, the Supreme Predator played along. They dropped a masterclass performance. Leon faked intense devotion, holding her aggressively close, cringing hard at their massive PDA. The captain forced a stiff grin and dipped totally over their couple behavior. The literal second that armor vanished, Leon shoved the queen away. Her face instantly screamed pure annoyance. Catching his fatal error, he nervously backed up. "Keeping your mouth shut was high IQ," she iced him. "But reality check. Sharing offspring does not make us legally married." Leon, gasping for air, fired right back. "Being your husband sounds like absolute torture anyway." Smug about his defiance, she threw a wicked smirk and pivoted, mocking his brutal walking distance. But before step one could drop, an agonizing spike shattered Leon's hand, sending him straight into the blackout zone. The queen just sighed, flexing over his pathetic stats. Shifting into her colossal scaly form, she carefully gripped him in her massive jaws, casually tossing his limp body backward. Translating his knockout as a desperate white flag, she ripped open her wings, launching into the sky toward the Silver Fortress. Absolutely winning right now. The following sunrise inside the stronghold, Leon snapped awake, spotting Tiny Moon guarding his mattress. Mind completely lagging, he questioned his respawn point. Moon beamed, hyping up how Mom carried him the whole way. Digesting his total defeat, Leon stared down at his wounded hand. It was perfectly wrapped, sealed with a cute ribbon. Moon puffed out her chest, bragging about her healer skills, totally fishing for dad compliments. Leon's eyes softened, ruffling her hair. "You are top-tier, Moon," he praised, teasingly, adding, "Just promise me, you will never copy your mom." A freezing voice sliced from the doorway. "Got a problem with my stats." Leon went totally rigid, jump-scared. Sweating, he instantly dodged the question. while Moon aggressively flexed her medical work to Mom, swearing she nailed the tutorial. The monarch dropped zero validation. Doing the bare minimum is expected, she stated coldly. Moon nodded, completely immune to her hardcore parenting style. Desperate to shift vibes, Leon tapped Moon's crown. Hey, go stealth mode in the courtyard. I will count to 100, then the hunt begins. Moon's face ignited with pure hype before she dashed out. The second the coast cleared, Leon squared up. Why act so toxic toward her? He demanded from the mattress. She bluntly dropped facts. Dragons forge their bloodline through fire, crafting only unstoppable apex predators. Leon fired back. Mayun was only half dragon, plus she was undeniably adorable. The queen just scoffed. Calling our majestic bloodline cute is pure disrespect. Leon internally disagreed, but his stubbornness ignited her blazing fury. Snatching his collar, she hissed fiercely. You are merely my personal punching bag. Know your absolute place, human. Sensing her lethal aura, Leon instantly surrendered. Her icy glare softened, dumping babysitting duties squarely onto him. Leaning closer, she whispered, She totally adores you. Completely shell-shocked, Leon stumbled toward the fountain. A literal dragon slayer, reduced to a glorified nanny, the massive irony completely crushed his pride. Catching Mune peeking behind a massive pillar, he cheered. Found you, yet the tiny dragon remained frozen. Baffled, he gently apologized for lagging behind. Instantly, she bolted down the massive hallway like pure lightning. Leon sprinted after her tiny footsteps. Hey, why the sudden marathon? Mune sharply swerved a tight corner. He skidded to a halt, totally losing her trail. Decoding a toddler's chaotic brain was his ultimate boss fight. The queen's sinister plan made perfect sense now. Pawning off this hyperactive menace was an absolute power move. Panic started choking him until a tiny weight slammed into his back. Mune locked him in a surprise bear hug. Jolted, Leon swore she had just sprinted ahead. But the little girl boldly denied everything with supreme confidence. Flashing a bright grin, she declared her flawless logic. Since Daddy failed, she hunted him down herself. Shaking off his wild confusion, Leon simply accepted it. Gripping his giant hand, Mune dragged him toward a secret surprise. As they vanished, a shadowy figure stepped out. A girl looking exactly like Mune watched them in dead silence. Later, splashing water filled the courtyard. Mune violently attacked a blank canvas with bright colors radiating pure joy. Leon lounged nearby, utterly captivated. A massive wave of unexpected fatherly warmth violently melted his hardened warrior heart. Being a dad suddenly felt incredibly amazing. Her innocent laughter acted like pure healing magic on his scarred soul. While she painted, Leon fiercely ground his teeth together. He desperately needed a solid escape plan from that tyrannical queen. Before plotting further, Mune tackled his leg, shoving her masterpiece upward. Leon grabbed the messy paper, beaming incredibly proudly. He opened his mouth to cheer, but his jaw instantly dropped. The doodle clearly displayed two identical girls. Assuming it was a toddler glitch, he tapped the second stick figure. Hey Squirt, why did you draw yourself twice? Smiling sweetly, Mune dropped a massive bombshell. That is my big sis. Pure terror suddenly paralyzed Leon's entire body. That hallway ghost was totally real. Sickness twisted his gut heavily, regretting ignoring that mysterious shadowy child earlier. Did he accidentally traumatize his other kid? Mune quickly waved her tiny hands, swearing her big sister wasn't mad. She was just super anxious about meeting their daddy. Rubbing his tense jaw, Leon deeply analyzed this insane twist. An unknown second daughter, the sheer magnitude of the queen's massive hidden secrets hit him like a literal freight train. Boiling rage overtook him. Time for a dramatic confrontation. Meanwhile, inside the Grand Library, the queen casually flipped through documents. A mini Drake dropped a scroll just as heavy boots stomped closer. Boom, Leon aggressively kicked the heavy doors open. Eyes blazing with righteous dad fury, he demanded absolute truth. He exposed her massive cover-up regarding his firstborn child. Finding his wild tantrum hilarious, she smirked lazily, questioning his sudden meltdown. Leon violently slammed both palms onto her desk. He fiercely praised her hardcore solo parenting. Raising two chaotic dragon toddlers alone was an undeniably legendary feat. He aggressively promised to officially register her in his imperial bloodline. The majestic ruler just offered a very cryptic smile. She coldly brushed it off. Bringing up her firstborn simply was not worth her precious time or breath. Was this monarch actually jealous of his bond with Miyun? Shockingly, his desperate hunger to meet Noah deeply stunned her. Playing along with his dad arc, she granted an audience. But her chilling gaze carried a massive warning label. Shadows swallowed the castle as Leon stormed the royal kitchens. He was absolutely dead set on conquering his firstborn's heart. He fiercely chopped ingredients for a legendary creamy meat stew. This nostalgic adventurer recipe packed an aggressively comforting sweet punch. Sipping the heavenly broth, he pumped his fist. He pictured Noah, absolutely melting over her daddy's flawless cooking skills. She would definitely obsess over his culinary masterpiece. Outside, the frosted glass, two gossiping maids spied on his chef session. His sweaty determination totally melted their hearts. Surviving near death, his massive dad energy was incredibly wholesome to witness. He literally defined peak husband and ultimate father material. Suddenly, the kitchen doors swung open, revealing the queen and two shadows. Myun happily chirped at the staff. Gripping his wooden spoon, Leon mentally braced for the ultimate boss encounter. Wanting zero audience for this family drama, the queen dismissed the giggling staff. They bowed deeply and vanished instantly. Plating the culinary masterpiece, Leon carefully carried the bubbling cauldron forward. Myun immediately rushed his legs like a tiny missile. Surrounded by an absolutely mouth-watering fragrance, Leon flashed his ultimate charming dad smile. "So I hear my girls are hardcore carnivores. I whipped up this legendary stew and premium fillet just for you." Leon prayed this epic feast would finally win over his little girl Noah. Brutal rejection. Noah totally ignored the masterpiece, staring off into space. Leon just stood there, completely paralyzed by her icy shoulder. Watching this unfold, the Dragon Queen flashed a smug, knowing smirk. Leon's blood boiled. She totally knew this train wreck was coming. This perfectly explained her dragging feet about setting up this family reunion. Slicing through the awkward silence, the queen nudged Noah to speak up. Standing tall, Noah announced, "I am Noah, the firstborn of the Silver Dragon Queen Rosweiss." She puffed her chest out. "And I am 1 year and 2 months old. Since dragon bloodlines level up insanely fast, she wasn't your average toddler." Leon leaned in, offering a hopeful, welcoming hand. "I'm your dad," he beamed, desperately trying to max out his charisma. Surprisingly, Noah's eyes locked onto him for a split second. But her freezing glare quickly returned, sending shivers down his spine. Was she secretly hating him, or just doubting his vibe? Catching the heavy mood, Sweet Muen tugged her sister's sleeve. She whispered softly, begging her to give their dad a real chance. But Noah's next words dealt massive critical damage. "He radiates weak energy," she deadpanned. "Are we sure he's actually our father?" Emotional damage. Those words pierced Leon's heart like poisoned daggers. Fatherhood was going to be one brutal battlefield. Welcome to level 1 of the Papa Leon survival quest. Sweating bullets, he aggressively wiped his face, trying to process this ultimate boss fight. A gut feeling told him this savage little dragon was testing his limits on purpose. Swallowing his nerves, he locked in. He was ready for the absolute chaos ahead. Noah suddenly shot something down, her eyes burning with pure, unyielding fire. This tiny warrior was definitely not backing down. Back at the grand dining table, the air grew incredibly thick. You could practically slice the tension with a sword. Eyes darted nervously. Poor Muen flashed an SOS look, begging for a rescue. The twins sat shoulder to shoulder. They looked exactly alike, but their auras were complete polar opposites. While Noah demolished her food in dead silence, Muen hard carried the vibe. Leon flashed a gentle smile. "Is the food hitting the spot?" His voice dripped with pure dad energy. But out of nowhere, Noah shrieked, totally shattering the peaceful moment. Leon nearly jumped out of his skin. Meanwhile, Rosweiss just hid a massive grin, totally living for the absolute drama. Spotting her mom's sneaky giggles, Muen tilted her head in pure confusion. Catching the vibe, Leon finally let loose and burst into warm laughter too. He confessed that hanging with his new family was an absolute win. "Will Papa eat with us every single day?" Muen gasped, her big eyes literally sparkling with stars. But Noah's face darkened. She instantly vetoed the entire idea with zero hesitation. Mind blown, Muen begged to know why her twin was throwing so much shade at family bonding time. Keeping her cool, their mom smoothly pivoted the chat. "Why the mad dash to enroll in the elite Dragon Academy?" she probed. Dripping with absolute swagger, Noah vowed to crush top-tier dragon warriors. Her battle thirst was off the charts. Rubbing his temples, Leon faced a terrifying reality check. His tiny daughter was already plotting to absolutely power scale past him. He softly warned her. Clashing with elite monster-class dragons at level 1 was basically a death wish. Triggered, Noah folded her arms. "I am not a weak kid," she snapped. Leaving Leon completely defeated, Rosweiss totally backed the kid's hype. Early grinding was essential for Destiny's trials. Locking eyes with Leon, she threw down the gauntlet. "Got a valid reason to block her grind?" she challenged, testing his nerve. Leon let out a heavy sigh. Blocking this fiery dragon would only make her rebel 10 times harder. Waving the white flag, he zipped his lips. He surrendered entirely, though completely stressed out. Flashing a wicked grin, Rosweiss told him to watch his step. Here, massive life choices happened in a flash. Sweating bullets, Leon felt the crushing weight of her terrifying warning. The timer was set, the elite entrance exam was exactly 1 month away, and Leon was officially drafted as her training master. Noah's hyped-up roar of approval instantly electrified the entire room. With the feast wiped out, the squad traded goofy jokes, rubbing their stuffed bellies in total harmony. Suddenly, Rosweiss's voice dropped an octave, demanding absolute silence from everyone. Pointing at the messy table, Leon pitched a wholesome idea. A true power couple should totally tackle the dirty dishes side by side. Ice-cold Rosweiss instantly rejected it. "That's NPC work," she scoffed, utterly crushing his romantic fantasy. Leon pushed back, arguing that real family bonds required actual teamwork, not playing pretend. Stepping up, Sweet Muen instantly volunteered to join the cleanup crew. Her hyped energy was completely contagious, forcing the dragon mama to cave. As Muen's massive excitement totally floods the room, begging to pitch in, she suddenly gets yanked backward, leaving the little girl totally bewildered, while scrambling to match her parents' pace. Meanwhile, Rosewayzik stepped right up to Leon, demanding to know when he would actually help. Leon just folded his arms, tossing back a dark warning he dropped 2 years prior. Rosewayzik, radiating absolute boss aura, flat out refused to handle someone forged through hellish training. Leon, holding his ground with swagger, fired back for her true endgame. His razor-sharp voice proved he wasn't some pushover pawn anymore. Rosewayzik unleashed a devastating blow, barking that running away was off the table. Leon blocked her lethal strike flawlessly. Pinning her down with a cocky grin, he whispered, "Whoever claimed I wanted to run?" Rosewayzik let out a pained gasp, thrashing against his crazy grip, while Leon roasted her sudden power drop. With a savage smirk, he dubbed her a shattered queen, breaking down how that dragon mark completely nerfed her abilities. He then dropped heavy lore, snatched straight from her clan's ancient scrolls, totally rattling her. Catching her panic, he smirked, mocking her desperate craving for dominance. Rosewayzik, panting and totally flushed, snapped back, asking if Leon was ever truly chained. With her pride totally stripped, she screams to release her tail, visibly thrashing against his intense hold. Gripping her tail without mercy, Leon drops his voice into a chilling register, calling her out for completely trashing his pride. The second he woke up, his totally cocky vibe clashes hard with her stunned, helpless panic while she shoots him absolute daggers. Rosewayzik snaps back with pure venom, refusing to bow down while cursing him out, her fiery temper erupting. She completely rejects his alpha act, her eyes burning with pure rebellion. Meanwhile, two maids gossip down the hall, dying to know if the queen wrapped up her totally secret bonding session. Their hardcore snooping screams that something wild is up. Sneaking a peek into the kitchen, their jaws drop at the flawless shine, looking like someone scrubbed every single tile perfectly. The maids totally freak out, guessing the prince somehow pulled off this deep clean. One hyped, flashes a crazy shiny plate. Back inside, Leon chills in dead silence, reading the whole vibe with a cold, laser-focused energy. Keeping Rosewayzik completely trapped, he clowns her massive downgrade, whispering a dark threat to stay super quiet before those snooping maids catch them. Rosewayzik's eyes flare with absolute fury and sheer willpower, right as the heavy door slams shut, screaming her silent war against this humiliating trap. Leon just smirks, clamping down way harder, sarcastically dropping the wife title while telling her it is time to begin. His face instantly drops into a freezing, ruthless glare, completely dominating the room. Rosewayzik's gaze screams pure burnout and total defeat, barely reacting, as she basically accepts this twisted destiny. Cut to 3 days later, panning over a ridiculously stunning sun-drenched castle chilling under crisp blue skies. Two sisters hover near their dad's bed, totally stressing since he has been out cold for days. One actually panics, he kicked the bucket, but the other sister promises to hold out. Out of nowhere, Leon flinches hard when Noah literally dropkicks his face. Groaning, he mutters, asking what kind of kid treats their dad like a punching bag. Blinking awake, Leon spots Muen practically vibrating with hype at his slightest twitch. Muen happily cheers about his awakening, while Noah just stares in total confusion. Leon quietly wonders when he even blacked out. Rosewayzik coldly volunteers to jog his memory, sparking a savage flashback of her blasting him and completely neutralizing that dragon mark. Leon sweats over her insane monster-tier strength, realizing she could have easily deleted him. Bouncing back, he sits silently watching Rosewayzik, who is completely icing him out. Despite her terrifying boss aura, he notices her absolutely unreal beauty, and remembers she is literally a 200-year-old dragon. Muen, catching her dad freezing up cutely, guesses. He is totally stunned by their mom's looks. Caught slipping when something randomly smacks the table, Rosewayzik whips around in pure shock. Leon snatches a fallen flower clip and smoothly slides it into Rosewayzik's hair, whispering, "It looks perfect." Totally shook, she questions his weird move. Leon just laughs, joking about brushing his old master's donkey as a kid, claiming he is basically a pro at this. Muen cutely asks what the heck a donkey is, totally stunning him. Smiling warmly, Leon explains, "Donkeys are way tinier and 10 times more stubborn than dragons," acting totally goofy to make her laugh. Rosewayzik, watching fiercely, connects her stubbornness to those animals. Suddenly, she decks Leon, sending him crashing backward. Wincing hard, he swears to a panicked Muen he is completely fine. Rosewayzik commands Leon to literally teach the girls how to write, dropping his jaw. Muen totally hypes up the announcement. While Noah flexes, she is already a pro. The sisters sprint toward the study room, completely geeking out over their pens. Meanwhile, Rosewayzik drops the bomb that her sister is visiting, ordering him to stay completely hidden. Leon, totally blindsided, demands to know why he is benched. Rossweiss drops a reality check. She reminds him of his forced role within the Silver Dragon clan after losing 2 whole years to a mysterious magic-induced coma. If he ends up facing her sister, playing the devoted fake husband is absolutely mandatory. Leon absorbs the heavy demands with a deadpan stare. Bowing his head, he mockingly accepts her orders, calling her Your Majesty. But once she vanishes, a wicked spark lights up his eyes. Obey her, never. Left alone, he instantly plots to humiliate her in front of her sister. Fast forward to the Silver Dragon Castle's study room. Leon sits patiently guiding little Noah and Moon through the delicate strokes of writing their own names. He traces letters for them to copy. Moon bounces with excitement while Noah stays dead serious. Staring at the paper, Noah coldly critiques his penmanship bluntly, stating their mother's handwriting is leagues better. That jab stings his pride, but he stays quiet. Standing up, Moon curiously asks where he is going. He gently promises to check their homework later, claiming he has an urgent delivery for their mother. Noah totally rolls her eyes, but Moon giggles, teasing her sister's secret joy. Blushing furiously, Noah snaps at her to keep practicing. Boom, the scene completely shifts to the castle's massive iron gates crowded with elite nobles and heavily armed guards. Enter Isha Melkvi. The legendary queen commands the yard, rocking fiery hair and pure royal authority. Rossweiss practically sprints to embrace her sister, their unbreakable bond lighting up the area. Isha immediately praises her radiant glow. Blushing, Rossweiss humbly brushes off the compliment. But Isha leans in, practically demanding details about the newly awakened husband. Hearing he is too sick for a royal introduction, Isha smirks. She ruthlessly teases the whirlwind romance, hinting at some serious late-night passion between them. Panicking, Rossweiss violently shuts that down. She swears no sparks will ever fly between her and Leon. Isha drops a knowing smirk, totally amused by the defensive rant, and heads for the garden. While they stroll, a shadowy Leon tracks the royal duo through a telescope, instantly recognizing Isha. His eyes narrow with mischief. Time to test the absolute limits of the magical dragon pattern. Surrounded by blood-red roses, the sisters dive into dark politics, whispering about the rising threat of the ruthless Red Flame Dragon King. Isha suspects the supposedly vanished Constantine Long is actively exploiting this massive chaos to conquer new territories. Suddenly, a weird pulse jolts through Rossweiss. Her body stiffens as magical energy flares up. Isha instantly senses the spike in tension. Slapping on a fake smile, Rossweiss waves it off. But inside, she is viciously cursing that absolute menace of a dragon slayer. Oblivious Isha details a master plan to reinforce their borders, bringing up Shin Long as their elite undercover messenger. She chuckles, deeply amused by how recklessly modern dragons are abusing the sacred dragon pattern. The seal on Rossweiss's body burns hotter by the second, sending sheer panic straight through her veins. Isha finally spots the blazing redness on her sister's cheeks. Cornered, Rossweiss stammers out a flimsy excuse about a forgotten errand and sprints off. Isha offers to tag along, but a mortified Rossweiss violently rejects the backup. Watching her flee, Isha breaks into a wicked grin, imagining the newlyweds' spicy bedroom games. Cut back to the castle. Leon kicks back, grinning like an absolute villain. How much could the queen actually endure? Bam! The thick oak doors explode open. A furious Rossweiss violently grabs his collar, screaming that he weaponized the bond just to embarrass her. Leon instantly plays the victim. Gazing deeply into her eyes, he softly whispers, "Is it illegal to crave my own wife?" His voice drips with fake sorrow. Boom! Rossweiss totally short-circuits her face, turning the color of a ripe tomato. Dropping his shirt instantly, she slaps a hand over her eyes to hide the devastating blush. Hook, line, and sinker. Leon smirks in the shadows, absolutely thriving on her mental breakdown. Expecting sheer disgust, he watches as she spins around. Still practically glowing red, she viciously brands him a shameless pervert. She harshly reminds him of his place, a conquered prisoner, with zero right to spout such romantic garbage. Commanding him to delete those filthy thoughts, she glares daggers. Leon just flashes a calm smile. But internally, Rossweiss is completely spiraling. She came here to destroy him, so why did that cheesy line make her heart do backflips? Storming toward the exit, she growls a final threat. Pull a stunt like that again, and she will personally end him. Watching the door slam, Leon bursts into a dark chuckle. One sentence utterly shattered her icy defense. Leaning back, he realizes the sheer terrifying potential of this magical dragon pattern bond. But suddenly, as her blushing face replays in his mind, his own heart starts pounding like crazy. Frantically shaking his head, he mutters, "Cosmo, wake up." He scolds his foolish thoughts, remembering the waiting kids. But undeniably, this romantic tension is rapidly skyrocketing. The electric tension between him and Rossweiss is dragging this plot into uncharted, chaotic territory. Meanwhile, Noah grinds her penmanship like a total boss, but Muen zones out, whining about their MIA dad. Sunset hits the Silver Dragon Castle, and Aisha finally calls it quits, dropping her goodbye to Rossweiss. The Ice Queen actually waves back, telling her to stay safe out there. Morphing into a massive crimson dragon, Aisha smirks, demanding to meet the mysterious hubby next time. Rossweiss nods immediately, dodging the topic. Aisha and her knights rocket into the starry void, leaving Rossweiss staring upward with heavy, unreadable eyes. She mentally sighs. She expected a total boss fight today, not this weird family drama. What cursed luck is coming next? Her jaw clenches, aura flaring up. That annoying dragon slayer definitely needs another brutal reality check. Cut to Leon sneezing his absolute lungs out. Someone is definitely plotting his downfall right now. Shaking it off, he hits the study room, dropping absolute lore drops for the girl's bedtime. The twins completely knock out. Leon snaps the book, Shut pulls up the blankets, whispers stay warm, and Ninja walks out the door. Bam! Rossweiss wall pins him against the exit, sending his heart straight into his throat. Her glacial glare locks onto him. Escaping so soon, she hisses. Leon just sweats, rubbing his neck. Did your crazy sister finally leave? A wicked smirk crosses her lips. Oh, our night is just getting started. She grabs his collar, physically dragging him away like a rag doll. Inside the Queen's royal chambers, Leon practically slams a boiling basin of water onto the marble floor. Water is boiling, what is the plan here? He grumbles. Rossweiss just kicks back, radiating absolute dominant energy. My feet are killing me. Start scrubbing, she commands without hesitation. Leon completely short-circuits. His pride shatters into a million pieces as he groans aggressively, slipping off her designer heels. He screams internally. The ultimate dragon slayer reduced to a glorified royal foot spa worker. Getting to work, he side-eyes her, wondering how many legendary warriors fell for this exact same humiliating trap. Rossweiss catches him staring and glares. What is going through that empty head, she snaps, cheeks dusting with a totally suspicious red. Instead of answering, Leon flashes a devilish grin and dunks her feet straight into the boiling abyss. Sink or swim, your majesty, he trolls. Rossweiss violently flinches, shrieking that it feels like actual lava. You absolute psycho. She uppercuts him with a brutal kick, launching him backward. Leon crashes down, literally coughing up HP. Eyes glowing with sub-zero fury, she stomps heavily on his chest. You planned that sabotage, did you not? Her voice drops 10 degrees. But Leon, completely unfazed under her heel, shoots back a feral grin. Hey, you ordered the VIP spa treatment, he barks back. Rossweiss instantly turns tomato red, vibrating with pure rage. Guess you need another lesson in obedience, she purrs, sliding her foot dangerously lower. Her tone shifts into a dark whisper. Never thought you would be pinned under a dragon, huh? She grinds her heel down, flashing a supremely arrogant smirk. Let us see you break. Leon cheeks, burning locks eyes with her refusing to fold. No way I lose to this scaly tyrant, he vows, bracing his core for impact. In a flash, Leon snatches her ankle and jumps up, grinning like a maniac. I have eaten beef and pork, but dragon meat. That is a whole new menu. Rossweiss absolutely panics, her face glowing neon red. What is your malfunction? Zero hesitation, he actually bites down on her calf. Midnight snack secured. Rossweiss goes completely feral, screaming absolute murder. Morning hits. Mwen is basically a walking zombie, while Noah is already operating at 100% brain capacity. The Queen limps in leg, heavily bandaged up. Mwen blinks, totally confused. Mom, did you lose a fight with the stairs? Just a scratch. Rossweiss deflects hard. Right on cue, Leon strolls in, rocking a massive band-aid across his face. Mwen immediately pivots. Okay, Dad, who gave you that massive black eye? Copying his wife perfectly, Leon crosses his arms. Just a scratch. Mwen puts her hands on her hips, her suspicious meter maxing out. A light bulb suddenly goes off in her head. You guys were throwing down in a secret game without me, she shouts, vibrating with hype. Tag me in next time. Noah just watches her sister peak cringe, dropping a massive silent sigh. Fast forward, the power couple patrols the royal gardens. They walk shoulder to shoulder, drowning in a hilariously awkward, thick silence. Hiding nearby, a maid aggressively elbows her friend. Oh my god, the royal bosses are totally on a romantic date. The blue-haired bestie giggles quietly. Total couple goals, even if they are acting like socially awkward teenagers. Leon peeks at the Queen, sensing her wildly out-of-character vibe. That crazy proposition from before flashes through his mind. A casual stroll together. Completely blindsided, he questioned the sudden invite. Rosewise coldly stated it was absolutely vital for faking their perfect family dynamic to the public. Strolling side by side, Leon anxiously calculates her hidden agenda. Her sudden initiative screams suspicious completely, throwing him off guard. Meanwhile, nearby, little Moon and Noah crouch behind an oak, intensely spying. Moon practically facepalms, grumbling. Dad seriously possesses zero hand-holding game. Suddenly, pure determination sparks in her eyes. Pumping her tiny fist, she proudly declares mission accepted. Panic strikes Noah as she grabs her. Wait, Moon, she frantically hisses. But the toddler is already sprinting away. Mom, Dad, she happily squeals. Caught off guard, the awkward couple flinches. Leon barely starts questioning her ambush when Moon forcefully snatches their wrists aggressively, locking their fingers together. That is how you stroll, Moon brightly chirps. Pulling a swift 180, the little matchmaker dashes off to bother her sister. Leon blankly stares at their intertwined fingers. Utterly paralyzed, watching his daughter vanish, he questions who taught her that move. Behind the trunk, a stressed Noah squishes Moon's chubby cheeks. "You totally ignored my warning, Moon." Sniffling, the tiny culprit vows to behave, begging for mercy. Meanwhile, the stunned parents resume their agonizingly slow march. Physical contact maintained, both absolutely tomato red. Shattering the heavy, quiet, Leon aggressively avoids eye contact. Total glitch. How do I survive this? A faint crimson dusting Rosewise's cheeks, she murmurs. "Relax. Just keep holding my hand." Pacing forward, Leon blurts, "Your bizarrely chill vibe today is giving me massive anxiety," flashing a wicked smirk. The queen purrs. "Guess I completely domesticated you. Look, whose heartbeat is spiking now?" Watching from their leafy sniper nest, the tiny duo intensely monitors their parents' progress. Stealing a quick sideways glance, Leon internally marvels at her flawless royal ice queen persona. Who knew a basic handhold could severely short-circuit Her Majesty's composed facade? Breaking the tension, Leon gently probes. "Notice how our child yells 'Dad' but addresses you as mother. It screams stiffly, formal." Avoiding his gaze, Rosewise mutters, "Does the title mother versus mom genuinely matter?" Leon smiles warmly. "Huge difference. Mom radiates pure, unfiltered affection. Worth a test run." The queen hesitates before nodding slightly. Features melting softly. "Fine, I will carefully consider it." Leon softly chuckles, validating her choice. "Bet the kids will instantly attach to you." Rosewise practically combusts into crimson, thoroughly wrecked by his bright puppy dog energy. Frantically repairing her poise, she nods. "I will test it tomorrow," she declares. Leon, spotting her abrupt pace change, pops a curious eyebrow. Why the sudden speed walking? Navigating the lush gardens, Rosewise unexpectedly drops a heavy question. "Do you constantly crave your homeland?" Leon shoots her a massively suspicious side-eye. "Why dig that up? Not like you are granting me a teleport back anyway." Sighing deeply, she confesses, "Cannot free you, but I have a secret cure." Low-key fascinated yet totally muted, Leon trails behind as she marches toward the massive, imposing fortress vault doors. Halting abruptly, he scrutinizes the giant gates. "What is the grand master plan?" Flicking her wrist, she explains, "No fancy title exists. Label it a storage dump, a junk room, whatever fits your vibe." Twisting an ancient key, she escorts him into the darkness. Scanning the interior, his pupils instantly dilate. An actual dragon hoarding stash, he breathes out, inspecting a glowing bracelet. "Drop this artifact back in the Empire, and it demands literally hundreds of thousands of gold coins." Rosewise softly clarifies, "My grandmother gifted me that relic during childhood. Beyond simple battle loot, this vault protects artifacts harboring immense sentimental value to my soul." Leon gazes at her, mind racing. "You literally never drop family lore, minus your sister." Her usual sharp tone melts into melancholy. "Never encountered my parents. Grandmother practically solo raised us both." Genuinely shocked, Leon casually drops, "Honestly, same tragic backstory. I survived a gritty orphanage. Zero parental memory, until my master and his wife finally scooped me up." He locks eyes. "Why expose this vault?" Gliding toward an ornate loot crate, she pops the lid. "Figured this specific artifact might momentarily delete your chronic depression." Utterly bewildered, Leon anticipates the reveal. His jaw practically hits the floor. The legendary black gold armor, Rosewise wickedly grins. "Have you not desperately craved its return?" Leon stares, brain completely short-circuiting. "Am I hallucinating? You are legitimately returning my gear." Her devilish smirk deepens, danger flashing in her eyes. "Absolutely," she deceitfully purrs. The second, his fingertips graze the metallic chest plate, a blinding azure aura violently erupts. He paralyzes, totally shell-shocked. Cursed with a binding dragon sigil, his mind violently spirals. "Black gold armor, my legendary partner. How did you fall into this tyrant's clutches?" Flexing her villainous grin, Rosewise dangerously whispers, "You finally triggered my absolute trap." Grinding his teeth, Leon shoots daggers of pure blazing fury. "Brace yourselves, an absolutely explosive war between these two, just ignited." Leon froze in his tracks, totally blindsided. "What is your endgame here, Rosewise?" he growled, panic spiking. A radiant dragon crest blazed beneath him, an ancient trap woven into his very armor, triggering instantly upon contact. Flashing a wicked smirk, Rosewise bragged, "I simply upgraded your gear with a special dragon crest." Pure dread washed over Leon. He staggered back, gripping his chest in sheer agony while muttering bitter curses. That cunning dragon witch, he silently roasted his own carelessness as the magic sent violent tremors through his veins. Rosewise let out a sinister giggle. "This upgraded crest packs double the punch," she whispered, closing the distance. "Can you survive this, my sweet dragon slayer?" Completely paralyzed, Leon choked out her name before hitting the floor. Locked in paralysis, raging frustration consumed his mind. "Damn it, my muscles are completely useless." She strutted over a devilish grin taking over her face. Did you honestly believe I would just forgive and forget? Her voice dripped with dangerous seduction. She boldly admitted she had been plotting this exact revenge arc for ages. Her craving for payback had only intensified lately. I never expected you to fall for it so fast, she giggled. She watched his silently fuming face. Unable to resist the thrill, she leaned in dangerously close. She ruthlessly pushed his buttons. Did my little acting routine fool you, she purred, eyes sparkling with absolute mischief. Furious heat flared in his chest. Was every single thing you did just a twisted lie, he barked. Her sharp grin melted away. No, she confessed, none of it was fake. My feelings are completely genuine. She laid her heart bare, shattering their emotional walls before giggling softly. I guess being dominated by you feels right, she claimed, boldly crowning him as her husband forever. Leon sprawled out, completely drained, feeling like absolute garbage. Yet through this chaotic mess, true romance finally blossomed. The raw tension melted into pure soulmate energy. Hours later, Leon exhaled heavily. Sweet relief flooded his system. Glancing up, he caught her staring right at him, with a thoroughly satisfied glow. What are you looking at? He grumbled, visibly flustered. She leaned down, whispering softly, your battle scars look lighter, but you definitely give off that rugged, mature veteran vibe now. Unfazed, Leon shot back. You are playing me again. I am absolutely not buying it, she giggled softly. You are catching on, Leon. Highly paranoid, he braced himself. A faint blush hit her cheeks before she cracked up. Your stamina is totally dropping off, she roasted him. That savage comment dealt emotional damage, sending his thoughts spiraling. Am I actually losing my edge and getting weaker? His paranoid brain overthought everything until he unleashed an agonizing scream. Morning hit Silver Dragon Castle as a thoroughly drained Leon dragged himself inside, rocking heavy bags under his eyes. Folding her arms, she flashed a smug grin. Morning, babe. Did you struggle to sleep? Clenching his jaw, he shot her a lethal glare. Only because of your trash talk, she giggled, playing completely innocent. Chilling nearby, Noah watched this chaotic couple bicker and shook her head. Here we go again. Pivoting hard, she brought up the brutal St. Heath Academy exams. You need to start tutoring Noah on dragon lore immediately. Leaning dangerously close, she whispered, prove your actual worth in other departments for now. Sparked by absolute rage, he snapped. I was just having an off day yesterday. Pointing fiercely, he vowed, I will guarantee Noah destroys that entrance exam. But I demand a seriously massive reward in return. She flashed a knowing smirk. Deal, just keep your expectations realistic. You better honor that deal, he stated, with total conviction. Chuckling gracefully, she strolled off. Better hit the books then. She left his competitive spirit completely ignited. Dripping with sarcasm, she called him honey and warned him against trying too hard. Burning with pure spite, he roared down the hallway. That dragon lady is absolutely cooked. She just casually waved him off. Watching this entire circus, Noah innocently asked why he constantly fought with her mom. Crossing his arms securely, he instantly deflected. He brushed it off as their normal couple dynamic. Suddenly buffering, he asked the kid what she just called his wife. Mom, the girl answered, looking slightly confused. He leaned in eagerly, questioning if someone forced her to use that title. He gently asked if she actually preferred saying mom instead of her formal name. Blushing shyly, she admitted the new title felt right. A proud dad smile completely lit up his face. He confidently stated they would grow to love this new family dynamic. Stunned by his golden retriever energy, the girl just watched him silently. Spinning around to leave, she demanded to know when their study grind would begin. Totally startled, he yelled out her name. He desperately begged her to hold on. Deep inside Silver Dragon Castle, the dark night dragged forward in chilling silence. Inside the nursery study, a solitary magical lamp glowed. Leon slouched over his desk, laser-focused on ancient Dragon Clan scrolls, completely lost in his own mind. The entire fortress had already faded into total darkness, the kids totally knocked out. Suddenly, Rosvisa glided into the silent chamber. Catching Leon still drowning in paperwork, she arched a single brow, still grinding. She questioned, radiating a blend of shock and pure flex. Leon completely ignored her gaze, drumming a quill against his forehead like cracking an impossible code. Noah absorbs knowledge way too fast, he mumbled under his breath toward his wife. Basic academy tactics are utterly useless on her. I gotta craft a totally custom syllabus, core theories, nightmare exams. Guess I'm pulling a massive all-nighter. A smug smirk painted Roswice's face as she peeked at their dreaming kid. Tilting her chin up with absolute queen energy, she boasted. Obviously, she totally inherited my flawless genes. Leon flashed a grin, finally locking eyes. Are you absolutely sure? He fired back, playful rebellion sparking in his pupils. Pushing up, Leon hit a massive stretch, folding his arms with main character energy. I literally ranked first in dragon slaying every single season. Valedictorian, totally flawless in combat sims, swept every single scholarship. The academy literally ran out of medals for me. He bragged, throwing her a cocky grin to invite a counterattack. Leaning in to deal emotional damage, he pushed further. So Queen, what exactly are your academic flexes? For a split second, Rosweiss glitched. Her combat stats and battlefield kill counts were legendary, but hitting the books, she froze, realizing she totally slept on his massive brain. Flashing a wicked grin, she clapped back. All that brain power, yet you are still my hostage, right? Leon's expression completely shattered. Crap, I only choked once, he snapped, his massive ego taking critical damage. A top-tier slayer like him utterly crushed by the legendary Silver Dragon Queen. Now he remained chained down a fierce beast totally dominated by her whims, collapsing into his seat. Leon grumbled sourly, one tiny slip and boom, forever caged, an apex predator terrorized by a reptile. Rosweiss, absolutely beaming, invaded his personal space, her tone overflowing with spicy mockery. Scared of getting dominated by a dragon, huh boy? Her icy pupils drifted, locking onto a stash of neon yellow chilies. Popping a brow, she interrogated. Why hoard this fiery stash? Leon blinked hard, acting like they just spawned in. Oh, these. Snatched them from the pantry for a massive energy boost. Roseweiss's smugness instantly melted into pure panic. Bro, those are authentic dragon fire peppers. A fragile human cannot handle that, but the timer already hit 0. Leon casually tossed one back. Chomping like a boss for exactly 2 seconds, his skin violently flared. Red veins popped, screaming, "Holy fire." He sprinted across the chamber, slapping his cheeks while desperately hunting for a drink. Rosweiss, battling between worrying and cracking up, sighed. Closing the gap, she trapped his burning cheeks inside her frosty palms. Their gazes collided instantly, paralyzing them. Leon's face absolutely radiated heat, definitely not just from the spicy snack. Rosweiss swiftly looked away, coughing awkwardly. My skin is naturally freezing, she stated smoothly, even though her shaky tone totally exposed her. This should chill the burn, her slender fingers tracing his feverish jawline. Leon's frantic chaos suddenly evaporated into zen. Her frosty grip felt dangerously addictive, extinguishing the brutal spice with a crazy, gentle, comforting vibe. Leon shut his eyelids, allowing her icy fingertips to neutralize the blazing agony, slowly dialing down the pain. Against his own pride, he caught catching major feelings from this tiny, intimate heel. Thanks, he whispered, deeply forcing himself to step back while a massive, embarrassing blush permanently tattooed his face. Rosweiss lowered her arms and retreated, hiding her flustered aura as she spun around. Go sleep and never touch that lava again, she commanded, her spicy attitude, returning while gliding toward the exit. Leon just bobbed his head, grumbling out a weak, "Sure." Yeah, loud and clear. Yet his eyes stayed glued to her gorgeous silhouette. The second she vanished, he completely collapsed, vigorously fanning his overheated skin. The ghost of her icy grip actually burned way harder than that stupid chili. But brutal reality instantly crashed down, remembering her intense nighttime routines. Folding his arms, he complained, drains my entire soul, then roasts my trash stamina, while my legs are literally shaking. Frowning hard, he snapped out of it. Cannot catch feelings or she will literally break my pelvis. Locked in, Leon snatched an alchemy manual and aggressively skimmed the chapters. His irises glowing upon discovering an ultra-rare recipe. Obsidian wyvern capsule, he voiced out loud, pure hype, overflowing his tone. A god-tier vitality potion that massively buffs physical endurance and mana reserves. Absolute jackpot. A chaotic smirk stretched across his jawline, like holding a legendary loot drop. Fueled by desperation, he immediately started plotting his ultimate stamina power-up. Fast forward to dawn, golden rays flooded the glass panes while outside a tiny golden finch aggressively squawked at a bigger one. A white bird watched from outside. Inside, total silence. Leon stared down, his daughter Noah. Fighting a massive smirk, he tapped her exam paper. I just graded this, he announced. Out of 100 points, care to guess your score? Noah hit him with an icy glare. Her face remained perfectly blank. 50. Leon actually snorted, whipping the paper out like magic. Try a solid 62. You totally lowballed your own genius. Noah's sharp eyes instantly zeroed in. Her tiny fists crinkled the edges. That slight frown screamed pure disappointment. Leon's gaze softened. Seeing her intense focus, she acted way too grown-up, channeling Ross's stoic energy instead of Moon's, who was probably outside hunting bugs right now. Smiling, Leon gently messed up Noah's neat hair. Hitting 62 on your first run, that is legendary, kid. Noah peeked up, a tiny blush showing. Thanks, she whispered, letting a sliver of pride crack her icy shell. Before Leon could hype her up, a brutal coughing fit hijacked his lungs. He turned, massaging his burning windpipe. My bad, he wheezed, sounding like crushed gravel. His throat felt like literal fire punishing him for those yellow Dragon Clan peppers he inhaled last night. Why did I ever trust the wake-up spice, he mentally groaned, wincing. Noah's eyes sparked with sudden realization. Digging into her pocket, she whipped out a tiny metal box, shoving it toward him. Dragon throat lozenges, the fancy label read. Leon blinked, caught off guard. For me? Her expression stayed frozen, but a shy gleam betrayed her. Mom told me to hand this over. She muttered instantly, playing it cool to hide her care. Smirking, Leon tossed a drop into his mouth. An icy wave of mint instantly killed the burning sensation. Well, pass my thanks to the boss. He winked, shooting Noah a knowing smirk. Like mother, like daughter, he realized. Absolute ice queens. But secretly, huge softies behind closed doors. As the mint dissolved, Leon's core energy completely refreshed. Locking eyes with Noah, he asked, "All right, where did we leave off?" Noah's aura instantly shifted. "We are dissecting my incorrect answers." Leon laughed out loud, his chest swelling at her fierce drive. "Spot on, kiddo." Meanwhile, deep inside the Silver Dragon Castle kitchen, Leon kicked off a classified mission. The serving staff moved like clockwork, executing his exact orders flawlessly. One maid bowed, greeting him as Lord Prince, confirming the mystical herb drop-off. Nodding smoothly, Leon pointed to the exact coordinates on his prep station. They obeyed instantly, stacking the rare materials perfectly before vanishing like shadows. Leon, flashing a sly, calculated grin, praised his own genius for ordering decoy plants to hide his true master plan. His eyes scanned the loot, verifying the crucial catalysts required to brew the legendary dragon. Great force. It looked basic on paper, but creating it was pure hell. The dusty ancient grimoire blatantly warned that even master-tier Dragon Clan alchemists fail this exact brew constantly. Completely fearless, Leon dove in. Chanting the formula by heart, he aggressively crushed and fused the botanicals, tossing them into the cauldron with absolute precision. Hours vanished in intense focus until total disaster struck again. Another devastating flop. Leon let out a soul-crushing yell, mourning his trashed ingredients. Glaring at the smoking ashes, he cursed the impossible final purification phase even though he followed the sacred text perfectly. Down to the letter, he analyzed the insane precision needed for the extreme heat separation technique. From the scroll, too much fire nukes the elixir, but weak heat leaves the toxins behind. Boiling with rage, he rattled the charred jar, cursing his lack of top-tier alchemical gear. But suddenly, his mentor's ancient wisdom echoed. Find another path. He began plotting a totally radical technique to extract the pure essence. Boom thunder shattered the silence. Leon watched the violent sky, feeling the storm, the chaotic weather perfectly matching his explosive inner drive. As he stood up to shut the glass, that roaring thunderclap paralyzed him, unlocking a forgotten memory deep within his brain. The fierce echoing sparked a massive epiphany about lightning dynamics. A legendary lesson from his alchemy master flooded back. Using electrical currents to purge toxins absolutely destroys traditional fire. A spark of absolute genius struck Leon's eyes, blazed with intense resolve, pondering. Could lightning magic force a separation? The ancient texts missed this entirely. His brain vibrated with insane potential. His signature lightning attribute might just unlock the ultimate dragon great force. Sure, his mana core was still fractured from that taboo spell he cast on Rosweiss, but his current mana reserves should totally handle this insanely delicate fusion. Ditching those dusty old-school alchemy rules, Leon pumped pure crackling electricity straight into the bubbling concoction. Violet arcs of energy crackled wildly as he controlled the fusion flawlessly. 30 agonizing minutes of hardcore concentration later, Leon stepped back, totally breathless. A wicked, victorious grin stretched across his face. He actually pulled it off. The legendary dragon great force was complete. While violent thunder roared outside, our boy bathed in this epic silent win. Tossing the legendary pill into a sleek case, he chuckled at how ridiculously basic this overpowered dragon alchemy actually was. Suddenly, his hyper-energetic daughter Miwon completely crashed the kitchen party. Her radar instantly locked onto the chocolate-looking treasure in his palm. Tilting her head like a confused puppy, she chirped, "Dad, what is cooking?" Leon flinched, totally caught off guard. Playing it cool, he smoothly dropped, "Just some good stuff." But hearing her innocent tone, he froze, his mind spinning with secret plans. Unfazed by his super suspicious answer, Miwon stared with giant sparkling eyes. Snapping back to reality like a glitching system, Leon blurted out, "Miwon." Slamming the stash shut in a panic, he slapped on a wholesome dad smile and ruffled her hair. "It is literally nothing," he lied smoothly. But her radar was activated. "Is that candy?" she pressed, practically vibrating as she stared at the glowing loot box. Leon let out a soft laugh, completely defeated by her cuteness. Waving the hidden ultimate pill, he flashed a gentle grin. "Nope, not sweets. It is a health booster. A special brew for your mother." Instantly, her sunshine vibe vanished into absolute panic mode. "Wait, medicine. Is mommy hurt?" Her tiny voice trembled with massive anxiety. Dropping to one knee, Leon gave her a comforting head pat. "Not at all," he cooed softly to calm her nerves. "The boss lady has been grinding way too hard, so I whipped up a mega energy buff for her. Zero reasons to stress, okay." As her crisis averted, Leon mentally high-fived himself for that flawless lie. Plot twist, this overpowered buff is literally all for me. I desperately need these stats back. Meanwhile, his precious daughter stared deep into his soul, dropping pure guilt. "Dad, protect. Mom, promise." His eyes melted with genuine warmth. Duh, that is literally my main quest. But behind that picture-perfect family man mask, a villainous aura flickered. Hiding his true boss-level intentions, he plotted, the second my mana core hits maximum level, I will absolutely dominate our next clash. A wicked smirk escaped his lips. Fast forward to a stormy midnight, rain violently lashing the glass while thunder roared. Leon chilled on his bed, casually flipping the game-changing loot box. Even after crafting the legendary pill, massive red flags popped up in his head. Would a monstrously strong dragon tier buff actually explode a fragile human vessel? Snatching the pillbox from the air, his brow furrowed. Better bench this extremely dangerous upgrade, until I am totally certain. Boom, Ross Weiss materialized, looking utterly mind-blown and highly suspicious. She literally could not believe he forged high-tier alchemy in a trash-tier kitchen. Dripping with her signature Ice Queen arrogance, she snapped her fingers open. Hand over whatever you just crafted. Right now, Leon froze, clutching the ultimate power-up protectively. Staring into her terrifying icy eyes, he mentally surrendered and tossed it over. You would literally just beat me up for it anyway. He grumbled totally over her tyrant behavior. The Ice Queen snatched the case, analyzing the legendary drop closely. A rare, dangerously beautiful smirk crept onto her face. Not complete garbage at all, she praised softly. Crafting a flawless dragon great force in this dump, you are actually insane, Leon. How does the old proverb go? Brains and brawn, combined into one lethal package. Leon practically dropped his jaw, short-circuiting at the rare compliment. Wait, she actually did not roast me alive, snap. The boss lady sealed the case casually, tossing the jackpot back. Hold on to this loot, she ordered, with zero room for debate, but do not dare consume it. Leon fumbled the catch, thoroughly baffled. Bro, why? He challenged, totally lost. Ross Weiss pierced his soul with an intense, dead-serious glare that demanded absolute obedience. She dropped the harsh truth, swallowing pure dragon-tier mana would literally vaporize a weak human vessel into absolute bloody confetti. His face darkened with massive annoyance and sheer disbelief. Is it seriously that ridiculously overpowered? He challenged, sounding super skeptical. But the Ice Queen did not flinch for a microsecond. 100%, she declared. Your human stats will shatter under that supreme energy. Surprisingly, her icy tone softened. The warning only fuels Leon's massive ego. Flashing a cocky grin, he snatches the Dragon Great Force pill right out of its case. I've crushed endless dragon monarchs, using only my bare hands, he flexes with sheer arrogance. Why should one tiny capsule terrify me? Panic shatters Rossweiss's calm, as the madman gulps down the elixir instantly. Leon, she screams pure terror, lacing her trembling voice. He merely smirks back. Bravery is humanity's greatest anthem, he proclaims fiercely. Then the medicine hits like a freight train. An oceanic wave of pure mana obliterates his senses. His screaming nerves completely shatter under the catastrophic overload. Devastating agony forces him straight to the floor. He desperately grips his heart, his features twisting into pure torment. You absolute idiot, Ross Weiss scolds, her furious panic completely spilling over. Do you realize how precious my restoration spells are? Diving toward him instantly, she immediately channels her aura to save his life. Let me purge this toxic energy right now, she begs frantically. Yet the stubborn warrior violently rejects her help. His shadowy, intense eyes lock onto hers as he physically crushes her spellcasting hand. Leon, stay perfectly still, she begs, her dread skyrocketing. But a deafening roar completely swallows her desperate warning. An apocalyptic hurricane detonates from his very soul, unleashing chaotic thunderclaps and savage, blinding electricity. Pure feral mana completely swallows his form, blasting the chamber with blinding flashes. Though hellish pain shreds his veins, his absolute alpha voice slices right through the raging tempest. Ross Weiss, he roars, his irises blazing with unbreakable willpower. Watch this. He stares deep into her soul, radiating absolute certainty. Witness the ultimate grit and terrifying sheer will of humanity. She desperately objects, but destiny is sealed. The madman tanks, the soul-crushing backlash of the legendary dragon pill, entirely solo. Vicious arcs of lightning whip across his flesh, while the tempest violently escalates. His blood-curdling roars shatter the claustrophobic room, proving his absolute blinding agony. Blown backward by the shockwave, the helplessly frozen girl watches as pure terror battles overwhelming respect inside her. Suddenly, the shocking truth clicks. He isn't merely surviving. He is actively electrocuting his own core with magic. Her jaw completely drops at this insanely suicidal, yet genius leveling method. The agonizing seconds slowly warp into an absolute suffocating eternity. At long last, the ruthless electrical discharge halts. The catastrophic cyclone finally collapses, burying the destroyed room in heavy, haunting silence. Electric embers continue popping across his bruised skin, his exhausted silhouette glowing under the fading magical sparks. She remains completely paralyzed, staring in absolute shock. The crazy bastard actually lived his monstrous willpower, vibrating through every single gasping breath. Then his mortal limits violently shatter, and he instantly crumbles face first onto the cold stone floor. Leon, she shrieks desperately, diving to break his brutal fall. Raw, unfiltered panic bleeds into her tone as she softly cradles his battered body down. With trembling, incredibly gentle fingers, she wipes the sweaty bangs from his forehead, her gorgeous face caught between intense frustration and deep care. Staring intensely at his perfectly still sleeping face, she whispers breathlessly, "You are an absolute psychopath." Even through the harsh insult, serious heart-fluttering affection completely saturates her voice. Getting up, she throws one lingering worried look backward before pivoting fiercely. "Stay put," she orders strictly. "I am grabbing the royal healer immediately." Yet before her foot even hits the ground, a desperately raspy whisper paralyzes her entirely. Rosweiss, the fallen hero, croaks out incredibly softly. Hearing that microscopic sound, she whips around absolute disbelief, painting her expression. His heavy eyelids slowly part, revealing feverish, unfocused pupils, totally lost in a weirdly intoxicating delirium. Before she can question his critical condition, his trembling fingers stretch toward her silhouette. Completely spooked, she instantly freezes solid. Suddenly, he snatches her sensitive tail. "Excuse me," she chokes out, eyes wide in pure shock. Her brain totally short-circuits as the fearsome warrior flashes a ridiculously cute, puppy-like smile, trapping her appendage in an iron grip. "How in hell did you regain consciousness?" She interrogates him, her tone vibrating with intense, totally flustered embarrassment. Completely filtering out her yelling, he drunkenly forces himself upright, wobbling but wildly stubborn. A massive, feverish crimson takes over his cheeks as he shamelessly nuzzles her fluffy weakness. An adorable chuckle leaves his mouth. "My beautiful wife," he coos lovingly, his brain totally melted by delirium. "Going where exactly?" Her face literally combusts into tomato red. "Who are you claiming as your bride right now?" She stutters, her cool facade totally shattering. She violently yanks her trapped limb backward, desperately fighting for freedom. "Release me this instant, you massive dumbass," she orders, fiercely, vocal cords shaking with ultra-embarrassed rage. Yet the menace only clutches harder, flat out denying her escape. His grin stretches a mile wide, aggressively cuddling her fur and exhaling absolute blissful satisfaction. "No way," he whispers incredibly sweetly. "Never letting go. I will absolutely never release my beloved wife." Even with her blood boiling, she quickly accepts that escaping his monstrous grip is currently impossible. He latches onto her like a giant toddler, literally singing a ridiculously catchy wife-wife melody, while relentlessly burying his face into her fluff. Pure, unfiltered defeat washes over her features as she aggressively exhales, totally surrendering the unwinnable tug-of-war against this delirious monster. Sanity evaporating, she quietly accepts her fate. Looking away to hide her blushing, her genius brain immediately starts calculating logic to survive this epic embarrassment. That legendary pill massively boosts raw durability and power. She analyzes silently, desperately trying to scientifically explain his unhinged glitch. Meanwhile, Leon keeps up his wild antics, totally blind to the absolute mess he is causing. He flashes a massive grin. Rosweiss watches him, totally baffled by the potion's effects. "It absolutely shouldn't trigger blackouts or this crazy behavior," she concludes, her thoughts flashing back to Leon using that intense lightning magic earlier. Did his insane lightning manipulation somehow crash with the potion supercharging its effects? These wild theories sprint through her racing brain, until her eyes snap back to Leon. The absolute fool is still happily humming, burying his face deep into her tail. A furious blush explodes across her cheeks at the ridiculous scene. "Absolute idiot," she whispers under her breath, completely flustered. Despite his unhinged clowning, Rosweiss sighs, convincing herself he is not in actual danger. Blind to her panic, Leon just keeps happily chanting his little wife-wife melody. She releases a heavy sigh. Trying to reason with this mess is pointless. Giving up, she glares down and snaps. "Fine, I am here. What is your deal? Spit it out." Leon instantly freezes, stopping his humming, and stares up at her. His face burns red, eyes sparkling with childish hype. With zero shame, he shouts "wife" again, flashing a wicked smirk. Dropping an absolute bombshell, he proudly declares, "I want baby number 2. Rosweiss turns to stone, her face igniting like a tomato. That sudden strike completely nukes her brain, sending a wild shiver shooting down her spine, while desperately fighting for control. Her deadly glare levels up as her blush burns hotter. "You barely even help with the 2 terrors from round 1, she barks out aggressively, crossing her arms. "And now you demand another?" "Absolutely not," but Leon refuses to back down. Gripping her fluffy tail, he rolls around the bed dramatically, whining. "I need a second kid," he begs, turning on the puppy eyes. "Come on, Rosweiss, would it really be that terrible?" Boiling with absolute frustration, Rosweiss aggressively pinches her nose. "Seriously, what did I do to deserve this nightmare?" She screams internally, weighing her terrible options. Knowing logic will fail, she blows out a heavy breath. "Fine. Forget baby number 2, we will pop out a 3rd and a 4th if it finally makes you zip it." Leon's eyes shoot fireworks like a kid scoring ultimate candy. Flashing a victorious smirk, he yells, "Seriously, then you gotta visit my hometown." "Yeah, whatever," Rosweiss groans, dismissing him with an exhausted wave. "We will head back once this current mess is resolved." Finally dropping her tail, Leon blasts to his feet, cheering wildly. "Heck yes, you are the absolute best." Watching this dork, Rosweiss shakes her head, trapped between exhaustion and secret amusement. This idiot is way more annoying than usual today, she thinks, though a soft, hidden smile fights onto her lips. Out of nowhere, Leon leans in, dangerously close, smirk expanding. "My wifey is the absolute best," he announces. Before she can blink, he lunges, aiming a massive sneak attack kiss right at her cheek. Totally ambushed, Rosweiss's eyes snap wide open in pure panic. Instincts kicking in, she slams her palm flat against his face, shoving him back with brutal force. "Stop taking advantage of this." She scolds internally, fighting to keep control. Underneath the comedy, Rosweiss's brain works in overdrive to decode his unhinged madness. Her mind sprinting as she frantically calculates just how long this cursed Dragon Force hangover will last. But as Leon stubbornly keeps clowning around, her final nerve shatters. Launching a blindingly fast hook, she screams, "You absolute moron." Taking the critical hit, Leon yelps, stumbling from the heavy impact. Rosweiss crosses her arms, shooting daggers at him. Her fiery rage barely hides her internal guilt for actually striking him. Gripping his chest like an actor, Leon groans in fake agony. Instantly, Rosweiss's blazing annoyance morphs into ice-cold panic. She drops beside him, kneeling down with raw worry. "Are you all right, you absolute dummy?" Her eyes frantically scanning his body for actual damage. Suddenly, Leon's breathing turns ragged. He grinds his teeth, crushing his chest. "Wifey," he gasps out weakly. Something feels terribly wrong. Out of nowhere, a blinding aura erupts directly from Rosweiss's dragon crest. The flash catches her totally off guard. Her pupils shrink in pure terror. "This is incredibly bad," she stammers, heart violently hammering. With zero hesitation, she rips open Leon's shirt to inspect him. The millisecond, the fabric parts. The ancient dragon seal burned into his chest ignites with a blinding, terrifying energy. Rosweiss's eyebrows crash together in total dread. Why in the world is the dragon crest awakening right now? She panics, her brain hunting for any logical answer. Before she can connect the dots, Leon's hands shoot up. He crushes her shoulders with a terrifying grip, startling her. In one brutal, lightning-fast motion, he slams her down against the mattress, completely pinning her. Leon Rosweissa screams out, her voice trembling with explosive rage and raw panic. "You absolute psycho, what are you doing?" Leon's breathing is horribly ragged. His burning, sweat-drenched face looks consumed by a hellish fever. Those desperate, glowing eyes fiercely lock onto hers. "Wifey," he growls. His voice cracks into a gritty whisper. "I am burning up. My chest. It is driving me crazy." Rosweiss's face flushes a deep, fiery red as he closes the gap. Her pulse skyrockets while she glares, jaw locked tight, her thoughts spinning out of control. The dragon crest mixed with the lightning aura. It has completely unleashed his primal instincts, she realizes with absolute terror. It is pushing his deepest, wildest urges into overdrive. Before she even blinks, Leon's predatory gaze locks directly onto her tail. Out of nowhere, he snatches it up, reeling her in. Rosweissa turns to stone, totally paralyzed, while Leon leans closer, inhaling deeply. His face looks totally intoxicated and hypnotized. "Leon," she barks, her voice shaking with blazing fury and intense fluster. "Drop my tail this instant." But Leon just squeezes harder, a goofy, euphoric smile spreading across his face as he mumbles, "It smells absolutely divine. So fluffy, wifey." Rosweiss's cool facade completely shatters, her face caught in a tug-of-war between rage and absolute shock. "If he keeps pushing it, I am seriously going to snap." She panics inwardly, absolutely desperate to shut down his crazy behavior. She smashes her palm against his cheek once more, shoving with all her might, desperately trying to create some distance. "Leon, knock it off," she orders, her voice cutting like ice. Her patience is evaporating, yet her sheer willpower to handle this mess stays rock solid. Her tail has been dragging through the dirt all day. She brings this up, snapping a harsh question right at him. "Does that not totally gross you out?" But Leon stands his ground, his relentless stubbornness, refusing to back down even a little. No matter how hard she tries, shoving him off his hands remains superglued to her waist. While she keeps lecturing him, Leon suddenly presses a soft finger against her lips, silencing her mid-rant. Caught completely off guard, Rosweiss turns into a statue. The oxygen gets trapped in her lungs, her pupils blowing wide as she stares back, totally unsure and weirdly out of words. Leon's eyes darken drastically, radiating a magnetic intensity she has never witnessed before. "Melkvi," he murmurs gently, dropping her actual first name. "An insanely rare and shocking move. You look absolutely breathtaking tonight." That out-of-nowhere praise blasts a tidal wave of heat straight into her cheeks. Blushing furiously, she whips her head sideways to dodge those soul-piercing eyes. Her voice cracks completely as she stutters. "Sweet talk will not work. I am still furious." Her brain goes into overdrive. What is happening? She panics, her chest thumping like crazy. This guy, his whole vibe completely shifted. He is giving off this feral, heavy aura right now. An energy I literally cannot push away. Even with her brain screaming no Rosswise, feels her iron defenses melting into a puddle. She steals a split-second peek only to catch his burning eyes, still laser-focused on her face. A tiny, uncontrollable spark of excitement suddenly ignites deep inside her. Catching onto her wavering guard, Leon closes the gap, his tone dropping into a husky, dangerously smooth whisper, "Wifey, will you please help me out?" Rossweisse chews on her bottom lip, ripping herself apart between sheer annoyance and a massive emotional hurricane. Eventually, with her face glowing like a tomato, she grumbles, "All right, but strictly for tonight." Pure victory sparks in Leon's eyes before he scoops her into his embrace. The dark hours drag out packed with an explosive magnetic tension that hangs heavy in the air right until the morning sun finally peaks. Deep inside, the massive luxurious bedroom of the Silver Dragon Fortress, Leon finally blinks awake, the wild dragon aura completely draining from his system. As his blurry eyesight sharpens, he catches Rossweiss lounging right next to him, rocking a supremely smug and playful smirk. "Finally up, huh?" She purrs in a teasing rhythm, her sharp eagle-like eyes completely locked onto his face, catching her voice at zero distance. Leon rockets straight up, pure terror exploding in his pupils. "Rossweiss," he shouts in panic, "why on earth are you sleeping in my bed?" That sudden jerk triggers a massive shockwave of pain across his entire body, making him flinch while grabbing his sore muscles. "I am literally wrecked," he whines, massaging his forehead. "My memory is completely scrambled what actually happened last night." Rossweiss stretches lazily before gracefully sliding off the mattress. Her smug grin stretching even further, she spins around to face him, radiating totally fake angelic innocence. "You seriously forgot everything," she questions breezily, even though the mischievous sparkle in her eyes totally exposes her massive entertainment. Tapping the faded love bites and bruises scattered across her collarbone and arms, she angles her head playfully. "Mighty dragon hunter," she mocks, her voice heavily soaked in thick sarcasm. "Do not tell me you blacked out." Leon's eyeballs practically bulge out of his skull as he catches sight of those red marks. His absolute horror multiplies, leaving his brain short-circuiting, trying to puzzle together the wild, blurry snapshots of yesterday. Leon's sanity takes a nosedive when he discovers the endless stamps covering his own chest. His internal monologue flatlines as icy sweat drips down his brow. Love bites, literally everywhere. The brutal truth smacks him like a freight train. Was I actually responsible for that? Out of nowhere, broken flashbacks from the wild night start bubbling up, each memory hitting harder than before. Gripping his hair, he watches helplessly as the crazy puzzle finally connects. The entire spicy truth clicks, forcing a blood-curdling shriek straight out of his lungs. Rossweisse, chilling effortlessly against the wooden headboard, crosses her arms and smirks. "Guess the memory works after all," she taunts, her voice dripping with pure entertainment. "You totally begged last night, Leon, whining stuff like, 'Honey, just one more round, and please, wifey, save me just this once,' you pleaded." Leon's entire face violently erupts in scorching red. She perfectly mimics his pathetic whining. "Cut it out," he screams aggressively, shielding his ears, desperately trying to block her teasing out. "I remember every detail, drop it." Meanwhile, Rossweiss's wicked smirk just drastically deepens, absolutely devouring his panicked embarrassment with pure delight. Frantically, Leon scrambles to throw his wrinkled shirt back on. Shooting her a terrified side-eye, crushing regret consumes his mind. I literally just needed to absorb that dragon aura to heal, and maybe humble her a bit. How did I become the victim? As Rossweiss smoothly buttons up, Leon releases an exhausted breath, briefly catching her intense gaze. "Okay, maybe I pushed things way beyond the limit yesterday." Whispering nervously, he swallows his pride. "Did I actually hurt you?" The silver dragon simply shakes her head, remaining totally unbothered. "I survived," she answers smoothly, brushing off his awkward concern. Crossing his arms to fake some serious swagger, Leon flashes a cocky grin. "Well, now you've personally witnessed my peak physical condition. Never question my stamina again." Instantly, Rossweiss's silver eyes slice through his fake confidence like razor blades. That deadly serious aura makes Leon instantly sweat. "Why are you glaring at me?" he stutters nervously, retreating a step. Boom, Rossweisse completely invades his personal space, her icy expression unyielding. Before his brain processes anything, her fingers snatch his jaw. Invading his breathing space, her dominant boss energy radiates zero regrets. "Mr. Dragonslayer, I gotta admit, last night's performance was absolutely stellar. I expect you to maintain that exact explosive energy forever." Leon instantly paralyzes his cheeks, violently combusting. His brain practically short-circuits. What the heck? Did I just officially downgrade into her personal nighttime toy? Releasing him, Rossweiss flashes her signature wicked smirk, like nothing happened. Then, she effortlessly pivots the entire conversation. "Anyway, regarding our little wager," she hums cheerfully. That terrifying word instantly snaps Leon right out of his panicked trance. Squinting suspiciously, he analyzes her every micro-expression. Wait, what wager? He parrots dumbly, desperately masking his spiking anxiety. Surprisingly, a soft pink hue dusts Ross Weiss's cheeks as she breaks eye contact. That rare, adorable glitch in her confident armor totally stuns Leon. She brings up how he aggressively demanded the kids call her mom, arguing it would massively boost their family bonding. Giggling softly, she freely admits he totally crushed her in that debate. Leon dramatically arches one brow, a spark of pure ego, illuminating his features, though he purposely stays completely silent. Her usually sharp voice melts into something incredibly tender. So did you finally decide on your winner's wish? She probes, eyes sparkling with curiosity. Leon completely freezes, awkwardly rubbing his neck before dropping his usual goofy shield. Yeah, I did. Please dispatch your shadow guards to the Empire. I desperately need a status update on my master and his wife. Her teasing energy instantly vanishes, processing his heavy request. Silver dragons really suck at secret undercover missions, honestly. But dropping by for a casual visit, totally doable, she states smoothly. Leon's expression immediately detonates into pure sunshine. Wait, seriously. He gasps, his hyped-up golden retriever energy shattering his cool facade. Snapping back to reality, he forcefully clears his throat, instantly switching back to maximum respect mode. I genuinely appreciate your support, he bows. Cut to the breathtaking Silver Dragon courtyard. Leon slumps onto a stone bench, his ghost-white complexion screaming absolute exhaustion. Suddenly, tiny little Miwen waddles over. Giant puppy dog eyes intensely lock onto his soul. Daddy, did you catch a bad bug? She chips, vibrating with pure worry. Leon nearly jumps out of his skin. Panicking, he aggressively waves his hands like a madman. Heck no, what? I am absolutely peak health. Who fed you? Lies, he babbles defensively. Miwen just giggles, her adorable chimes echoing everywhere. Mommy spilled the tea, she beams proudly. She claimed you swallowed weird pills yesterday, and boys are just too stubborn to admit weakness. Hearing that slander, Leon's aura turns pitch black. Grinding his molars, he inwardly screams. That devious, oversized lizard. Brainwashing an innocent toddler. Is my pride officially buried 6 feet under? Meanwhile, Miwen adorably tilts her little head, her tiny face crumbling into actual panic. But you literally look like a zombie, Dad. Did those magic pills completely fail? Or did you skip your dosage? Leon exhaustedly facepalms, crouching down to her eye level and softly gripping her tiny shoulders. Listen, kiddo, grilling adults like this is slightly illegal, he lectures gently. But before he can dodge the topic, Miwen violently gasps, staring in pure, unadulterated horror. Daddy, your lips are literally leaking blood, she shrieks, tackling him into a desperate hug. Massive crocodile tears stream down her cheeks. I'll literally perish without you. Don't cross the river. Sticks. Leon's hardened heart completely melts. Flashing a warm dad smile, he tenderly ruffles her hair. Your old man is completely indestructible, sweetie. I swear I'm surviving. He purrs comfortingly, magically dissolving her tiny panic attack. Staring deeply into Miwen's sparkling, totally uncorrupted eyes, Leon suddenly catches something bizarre. She was the spitting image of Rossweisse. That relentless sass, razor-sharp intellect, and vibrant energy mirrored her mother flawlessly. But today, Leon was determined to outsmart his little genius. No holding back. Dropping to one knee, he teased with a wicked grin. How about Daddy crafts you an exclusive toy today? The mere word toy sent Miwen into absolute overdrive. Her eyes practically shot stars as she bounced off the walls. Clapping fiercely, she squealed, heck yes, I love toys the absolute most, Daddy. Her vibe was totally infectious. Leon melted at her hype, promising smoothly, bet, I will forge you something totally legendary. Brainstorming hard, he locked onto a classic from his past, the Rubik Cube. Eyes focused, he immediately went into creation mode, blending high-tier alchemy with raw mechanical genius to construct the puzzle. He coated every single face in insanely vibrant hues. The second it dried, he hoisted his masterpiece high. Handing it to Miwen, he announced, meet the ultimate brainbuster, the Rubik Cube. You can spin this bad boy any way you want, ready to test it. Miwen was instantly captivated, her jaw practically dropping. Snatching it up, she inspected the puzzle like a pro before rapidly spinning the colored blocks. Cracking its secret mechanics, her glowing smile completely melted his heart. Observing his daughter, Leon chuckled internally. Who knew hardcore alchemy lectures would unlock god-tier parenting? Maybe my true calling was being the ultimate stay-at-home dad. But that wholesome vibe shattered in a heartbeat. A chilling wave washed over him, completely wiping the grin off his face. Whipping around, his hunter instincts flared as he scanned the room. Spotting his intense shift, Miwen tilted her head in pure confusion. Daddy, did something happen? She mumbled, gripping her new puzzle tight. Leon paused, swallowing the tension before flashing a comforting smile. All good, Munchkin, just thought a shadow moved, he lied effortlessly. But internally, alarms were blaring. Seconds prior, an icy phantom sensation brushed against him, the undeniable bone-chilling weight of a dragon gaze. His radar pinpointed that massive aura, straight from the training grounds of Noah. He could not help but wonder if his fierce, aggressively independent oldest daughter would ever actually drop her guard and hang out with them. Riding that emotional wave, he made a bold move, forging a second Rubik Cube to bridge the gap between them. Fast forward to midnight. With the Silver Dragon Castle dead silent, and when knocked out cold, Noah slipped back into her room. Radiating her usual Ice Queen energy, her piercing eyes instantly locked onto the strange puzzle chilling on her desk. Right beside it sat a letter. Curiosity sparking, Noah snagged the paper instantly, recognizing the messy but warm handwriting of her dad. A gift for you, Noah. Your mission is to crack this code. Consider it a mini-boss battle from me to you. Clearing her throat awkwardly, she scoffed out loud. What a total dork. As if I have time for dumb kid stuff. But actions speak louder than trash talk. Her fingers automatically began rotating the blocks, executing flawless, calculated spins. With every twist, a massive crimson blush painted her face. Gripping the cube against her chest, she murmured softly, "Thanks, Dad." This was way more than colored plastic. It was a super rare physical piece of affection from the old man, and she cherished it. Treating it like fragile glass, Noah safely tucked the puzzle into a rustic wooden box. Her ultimate secret stash shoved deep under her mattress, proudly dubbed her legendary treasure chest. The loot inside shards of the pitch black and gold armor of her dad, a custom nameplate carved by Leon himself, and now the cube. But plot twist, her little sister Mwen had been lurking in the shadows, watching this entire wholesome scene unfold. Brain gears turning, Mwen plotted silently. Big sis has been super sus lately, hoarding stuff in that secret box. What is her deal? The second Noah left the room, Mwen saw her golden window of opportunity. Slithering beneath the bed frame with a devilish smirk, she giggled. Detective Mwen is officially on the clock. Adrenaline pumping, she yanked the chest open. Her jaw literally dropped as she scanned the epic loot, the shattered armor, the colorful cube, and that customized tag. Wait, this is all dad merch, she gasped, a massive light bulb going off in her head. Boom busted. Out of nowhere, Noah restrained her, gagged her, and snatched back the sacred loot. Towering over the squirming little spy, Noah flashed a wicked villain smirk. No peeking, understood. Cut to somewhere entirely different. At St. Heath Academy, the insanely prestigious school for dragons, the entrance exams were brutally cutthroat. They did not just test raw magical power, they strictly judged your family dynamic and absolute loyalty to ancient dragon laws. Their core philosophy, only a flawless, loving household could forge a true dragon of honor. St. Heath ruthlessly gatekept anyone else desperate to flex the illusion of the perfect, unbreakable dragon bloodline. Knowing this, the Silver Dragon Queen Ross Weiss hatched a master plan. Destination, Sky City. Mission: secure the ultimate picture-perfect family portrait. Sky City pulses with magic. Here in the bustling heart of the dragon realm, colossal parents playfully nudge their tiny hatchlings. Suddenly, a shadow blankets the plaza. Ross Weiss descends in her breathtaking dragon form, leaving her awestruck family trailing behind her regal aura. Hitting the ground with absolute grace, she pauses. Instantly, her playful youngest daughter Mi Wen surfs down her mother's massive, scaled back. Waiting below, Leon spreads his arms wide. "Whoa there, Mi Wen, I have got you," he shouts upward. Snatching her midair, he locks her in a tight embrace. "Caught you," he laughs, tossing the little girl up like a feather. Off to the side, Noah silently monitors the chaos. Arms folded and completely stoic, she watches their usual daily antics. Never losing her cool, the colossal beast shimmers flawlessly, morphing back into her stunning human vessel. Every single step radiates pure royalty. Suddenly, Mi Wen tilts her head at her father. "Hey Dad, how come you did not turn into a giant dragon too? I want to see your cool dragon form." That absolute curveball shatters Leon's tough guy act. His cocky grin instantly cracks. Chuckling awkwardly while rubbing his neck, sheer panic floods his veins. "Sweetie, your dad is an absolute legend at butchering dragons. But actually turning into one, not a chance," he screams internally. Before he can even fake an answer, Noah's piercing stare locks onto his soul. Slicing through the tension with icy precision, she presses. "So can you not transform? Or do you simply refuse?" That brutal call-out lands perfectly. Visibly sweating now, Leon shoots desperate, pleading glances between Noah and his wife for a lifeline. But he gets absolutely nothing. Catching the heavy tension, Ross Weiss flashes a diffusing smile. "Your dad's physical core is still healing up, so shifting forms is totally off the table right now," she smoothly covers for him. She vows that once his strength returns, he will definitely show off his epic form. Mi Wen's adorable face suddenly hardens. Staring up with giant worried eyes, she begs, "Daddy, please heal up super fast." Melting at her words, Leon gently strokes her hair. Flashing a gentle grin, he whispers, "I will try my hardest." Deep down, his internal thoughts remain painfully bleak. Ross Weiss perfectly shifts the vibe. "Okay, squad, let us move. We have major business to handle today." Exploding with pure hype, Mi Wen sprints forward, eyes starry with absolute awe. "Noah, look, the place is literally crawling with dragons." She squeals in total delight. Never breaking her cool aesthetic, Noah trails behind with slow, calculated steps. Hit the brakes, Miwen. Do not wander off, she coldly warns. As the dynamic duo navigates the chaotic market avenues, their sheer aura instantly hooks the local crowds. Massive dragons freeze in their tracks, staring with raw fascination and total respect. The citizens absolutely marvel at these unique outsiders glowing amidst the bustling mob. Ross Weiss and Leon shadow their kids closely. While the legendary city roars with energy, a dark shadow crosses Leon's face. His entire frame begins to subtly quake. Keeping it quiet, his rising dread cannot hide from his wife's elite instincts. Spotting the shivers, she wonders, is he actually trembling? The puzzle pieces instantly click. This is his first time surrounded by giant beasts since snapping out of that massive coma. Leaning close with a devilish smirk, she breathes into his ear. Getting cold feet, Leon? Initially paralyzed and looking totally grim, a sudden switch flips inside him. His pupils ignite with sheer cockiness as he snaps back. Who is scared? You have got to be kidding. Puffing his chest out, he gestures wildly at the monstrous crowd. I am completely hyped, babe, cannot you tell, he boasts. Do you even realize what I am looking at? Tier 1 merits, Tier 2 merits, Tier 3 merits, infinite merits everywhere. These streets are dripping with gold. I am about to be filthy rich. Ignoring how completely insane he sounds, he drops a casual whistle and struts forward, grinning like an absolute maniac. Ross Weiss violently pinches her nose, sighing in pure defeat. I actually wasted my pity on this clown, she grumbles mentally. Moments later, the squad pulls up to an exclusive storefront downtown. Pushing past the heavy doors, the scaled merchants instantly drop into desperate bows, their tones dripping with absolute worship. All hail the Silver Dragon Queen and her royal bloodline. Serving you today is our absolute greatest privilege. Floating inside with flawless elegance, she leads Leon and the kids. Instantly, Miwen treats the pristine shop like a literal playground. Buzzing with infinite energy, she yanks her older sister toward the gallery walls, screaming, Noah, check it out, the dragon art is insane. She squeals, stars shining in her eyes. The ultimate Ice Queen Noah stays dead silent, unbothered by her siblings' massive hype. While the kids go wild, Leon casually slides up next to his wife. Dropping his voice to a stealthy whisper, he probes, Are you not the legendary Silver Queen? Why do your own photo errands? Should you not have mindless servants for this grunt work? Shooting him a lethal, unamused side-eye, she drops some lore. A dragon sovereign can only boss around their specific bloodline, she states. The beasts roaming Sky City refuse to bow to any single clan. They operate as completely independent free agents. Leon flashes a toxic smirk, loving this reality check. So your shiny crown means absolutely nothing here, right? He joked, mischief dancing in his eyes. But before he could even enjoy his little victory, Roswies ruthlessly crushed his foot with her killer stiletto heels. A brutal jolt of agony electrified Leon's body. Yet Roswisa stayed completely unbothered, effortlessly brushing off his dramatic reaction like an absolute queen. Leon shrieked in pure agony, desperately hopping around while clutching his completely crushed toes. Flashing a sickeningly sweet yet dangerously savage smirk, Roswisa mocked, Well, whatever, I am officially taller than you now. That spicy flex pulled a highly nervous giggle from the head shopkeeper, who instantly bowed deeply. It is an absolute honor hosting the legendary Silver Dragon Queen and her family, the manager stated respectfully. Capturing your royal family portrait is an unmatched blessing. Rosweiss immediately straightened up dramatically, flipping her gorgeous hair with main character energy. Everyone knows my photography skills are absolutely god tier across the entire dragon realm, she bragged. You guys seriously lucked out booking this exclusive session. Mid-conversation, the head tailor nervously side-eyed Leon, asking tentatively, What about the royal husband's majestic tail? Should we frame that in the shot? Roswisa completely dismissed the vibe with a totally careless wave. He absolutely hates flexing his tail, she shrugged nonchalantly. Let us just grab him a basic tailless fit instead. Suddenly, a hilarious flashback hit her, bringing a super devious smirk, remembering that utterly chaotic showdown back at the Silver Dragon Castle, right before their Sky City trip. Rosweiss had forcefully gifted Leon an insanely detailed custom silver dragon tail prop, demanding he equip it. Leon reacted with absolute dramatic terror. Hell no, he had aggressively screamed, desperately backing away. Like that fake tail held a lethal curse. I would rather die than equip that garbage. My male ego depends on it. Back to reality. Rosweiss shook her head silently, laughing at her husband's intense stubbornness. Meanwhile, the clueless head shopkeeper bowed respectfully, gently, guiding the stunning queen toward the VIP fitting room. Meanwhile, across the bustling boutique, Miwen happily bounced around with overflowing chaotic energy, completely brightening the whole vibe. I want a gorgeous princess dress, she squealed with absolute joy. A few moments later, both Miwen and Noah stepped out of the VIP fitting area, rocking brand new, flawless dresses, looking absolutely radiant for this legendary family shoot. Their sheer elegance instantly mesmerized every single customer and staff member around. Seconds later, Leon finally emerged, wearing a wildly crisp white tuxedo. This unbelievably sharp drip completely destroyed his usual lazy aesthetic, violently shocking everyone in the entire room. Miwen completely lost her mind, eyes sparkling at her dad's massive glow-up. "Oh my gosh, Dad, you look insanely handsome." She hyped him up, pure admiration dripping from her voice. The shop manager nodded with total approval, flashing a super genuine smile. "This tailored masterpiece fits our prince flawlessly," she praised. He was definitely a massive heartthrob back in his academy days. Leon immediately arched an eyebrow, absolutely loving the ego boost. A highly arrogant smirk painted his face. "Oh, you seriously think so?" He fired back with peak playful confidence, totally soaking up that sweet validation. Bro literally had not rocked a fit this formal since his legendary academy graduation. He zoned out, adjusting his expensive collar, before locking eyes with Noah. "So what is the verdict, Noah?" He casually dropped, completely catching her lacking. Noah violently blinked, totally stunned, before shyly looking away with furiously burning cheeks. "You look seriously handsome," she whispered shyly. Leon flashed a megawatt smile at that, reaching out to warmly pat both Miwen and Noah on their heads. "Plus your little dresses are absolutely top tier," he complimented smoothly, making both girls beam brightly. Suddenly, Rossweiss majestically exited the fitting room instantly, paralyzing the entire boutique with her godlike visual aura. Wrapped in a breathtakingly elegant gown that perfectly highlighted her royal curves, she looked like an absolute goddess. Dead silence fell, while Leon literally dropped his jaw in pure shock. She was completely mesmerizing. Catching him looking totally brain-dead, Rossweiss smirked playfully, tilting her head. "What is wrong, Leon?" she playfully teased, instantly snapping out of his embarrassing simp trance. Leon frantically dodged eye contact aggressively, scratching his neck in sheer awkward panic. "Nothing, that dress just looks ridiculously good on you," he muttered super quietly. Rossweiss faintly blushed at that totally unexpected praise, but instantly covered it up with confident sass. "Well," she countered smoothly, "your fit would hit way harder if you actually equipped a tail." Leon instantly glared, mentally screaming, "I am never wearing a stupid fake tail. Literally not in a million years." Before things got toxic, the shopkeeper loudly clapped with bright energy. "All right, VIPs. Let us set up for this epic family portrait," she announced, hyping the camera angle. Miwen, practically vibrating, aggressively waved her tiny hands. "Mom, Dad, hurry up," she cheered, dragging a shy Noah into frame. Rossweiss and Leon awkwardly shuffled into position, both stubbornly refusing to make eye contact. "Your Majesty, Prince Leon." "Squeeze in closer," the photographer hyped them up. "Let's immortalize this flawless family aesthetic forever." "Say cheese," the photographer declared, kicking off the timer. Wen flashed a blinding $1 million grin. Her golden retriever energy absolutely carried the shot. Noah kept her signature Ice Queen vibe, while Leon and Rossweiss looked completely dead inside. For the grand finale, the photographer pitched a wildly chaotic idea, a classic couple's heart pose. Without missing a single beat, Rossweiss flawlessly curved her tail into half a heart, while a cringing Leon desperately slapped his hand up to finish it. The masterpiece, pure chaotic energy. Rossweiss rocked a devious smirk, perfectly contrasting Leon's soul-crushed hostage-like glare. Despite his internal screaming, Leon secretly admitted the aesthetic was fire. Still, he swore a silent blood oath to take that heart pose to his grave. Another snapshot captured them locked in an absolute fiery death glare. Sure, their blushing cheeks totally exposed them, but that undeniable rivals-to-lovers tension was screaming right off the paper. Catching the vibe, the photographer laughed. "You guys are absolute relationship goals. This shot is going straight in the Hall of Fame. A legendary exclusive." This chaotic romance instantly triggered a massive flashback to Leon's wildly iconic graduation day. An absolute mob of underclassmen fangirls had swarmed him, practically starting a turf war just to breathe his air. "Senior Leon selfie please," one stammered. "Wait, let's grab dinner tonight," another desperately shot her absolute best shot. A third thrust, a premium gift box forward begging, "Please accept my feelings, Senior Leon." Ambushed by this absolute simp army, Leon's brain totally blue-screened. His face morphed into a masterpiece of pure, unadulterated panic. Desperately dodging the drama, he forcibly slapped on his coldest lone wolf persona and formally announced, "I am terribly sorry, but I absolutely must go give my master's donkey a pedicure. Catch you later." The fangirls' souls instantly left their bodies. Their romantic delusions instantly shattered into a million pieces. Completely defeated, the massive crowd of girls slowly scattered, nursing their emotionally devastated hearts. Leon exhaled a massive sigh of relief, happily waving them away, completely ignoring the absolute graveyard of shattered dreams he just created. Watching this total train wreck unfold from afar, his master simply facepalmed into another dimension. Did a literal donkey kick this idiot's brain straight out of his skull? What is his major malfunction? He relentlessly grumbled to the wind. Fast forward to Sky City. The studio manager warned them the epic prince needed 6 whole hours to fully process. She smoothly pitched the idea of Her Highness going on a VIP city-crawling date just to kill some time. Stepping outside, Moon excitedly threw up a peace sign to the staff. Meanwhile, Noah and Leon immediately locked eyes. A heavy telepathic stare. Both of their danger senses were intensely tingling right now. Boom Wen snatched Noah's wrist, dragging her straight into the chaotic crowd. Look at that, she squealed, vibrating with massive hype. The parent duo strolled behind them, utterly exhausted by their kid's infinite stamina glitch, strolling perfectly side by side. Leon peeked at the Ice Queen, a soft smirk breaking his stoic face. Never imagined I'd be casually running errands with my ultimate rival. His guard completely dropped, soaking in the surreal domestic vibe. Ross Weiss, keeping her flawless poker face, coolly shot him down, strictly claiming this was purely a PR stunt for their fake family aesthetic. But her icy glare actually melted slightly. Plus, Noah has been grinding like absolutely crazy for her academy trials. A month of pure sweat and tears. She absolutely deserves a cheat day. Mid-chat, the kids slammed the brakes hard, dead in front of a chaotic carnival sniper booth. Their absolute laser focus locked entirely onto a legendary teddy bear prize, sitting proudly on the top shelf. Muen was literally vibrating with anime starry eyes, while even Noah was intensely hypnotized by the absolute fluff. The adults finally caught up, absolutely stunned to see their highly lethal daughters acting like totally normal kids. Radiating pure main character energy, Noah snatched up the plastic rifle. She activated her sniper mode, dead-eyed the target, but horribly flopped. Her plastic bullets either whiffed into another dimension or bounced completely uselessly off the invincible rubber armor. Absolute crickets chirped. Noah's icy facade instantly shattered into the most violently adorable rage-filled pout ever witnessed in history. Muen's hype train completely derailed, totally matching her sister's massive depression. Catching their devastating sad puppy eyes, the vendor chuckled softly. "Swipe the card again, kiddos. You'll definitely hit it." Leon stepped right up, smirking like a boss. So carnival scams exist in this universe too. Muen's eyes basically shot lasers of pure joy. "Dad?" Noah just darkly sulked aggressively, grumbling about her ruined hit ratio. Leon's sweat dropped instantly, deducing the vendor was running a rigged scam operation. Before he could expose the fraud, Noah violently shoved the weapon into his chest, her cute pout, basically becoming a lethal threat. Gripping the plastic rifle, Leon activated his veteran instincts, flashing back to every Earthrealm carnival hustle. Rossweiss narrows her eyes. "Those toy bullets run on pure mana," she analyzes. Handling that aura takes insane precision. Makes sense why Noah is struggling. Catching the scent of easy cash, the vendor flashes a greasy grin. "Care to test your luck, Mom and Dad? Burst 10 targets with 10 shots, and those plushies your girls are eyeing go straight home with you." The scammer secretly praises his own wicked genius. Baiting the kids to fail was the perfect trap to empty their parents' wallets. Leon turns to his girls, voice softening. "You want those bears?" Noah instantly pouts, stubbornly averting her gaze. "I do not care about toys," she lies, voice trembling. Meanwhile, Wen slumps her shoulders, whispering a quiet sigh. Wen claims she is fine too. Yet the desperate sparkle in their eyes completely shatters their tough facades. But Leon sees right through them. Despite their stubborn denials, he feels their intense craving for those plushies. Their tsundere energy is simply too strong. Flashing a wicked smirk, he pivots toward Rossweisse. He points straight at his wife. "Set up 10 rounds, the lady is paying." Rossweiss actually chokes on air, completely blindsided by his audacity. Loving the drama, the greedy vendor chuckles and rubs his palms. "Now that is the energy we need." Leon grabs the rifle, his playful aura vanishing instantly. Flashbacks of grueling Dragon Slayer Academy drills flood his vision. Gripping a weapon after so long feels electric, sparking a heavy wave of battle nostalgia. Beside him, Rossweiss bitterly slaps down her gold coins. The vendor pockets the cash with wicked glee. Leon squares up and pulls the trigger. Total miss. He fires again. Nothing. Bullet after bullet flies wide. Not a single target bursts. The vendor flashes a nasty smirk, bathing in Leon's pathetic display. He totally rigged the rifle sights to guarantee absolute failure. Certain nobody could beat his scam. But Leon simply refuses to lose. Gently tapping the barrel, he narrows his eyes. Something is off. Scanning the rigged hardware, he smoothly slides one hand away, exhales deeply, and locks onto his target. Suddenly, his stance turns frighteningly flawless and utterly lethal. Bang bang, every single balloon shatters flawlessly. The scammer's arrogant grin dissolves into pure unfiltered panic. Leon twirls the rifle effortlessly and smirks. Just needed to calibrate the garbage sights. Did not expect a perfect clear. He casually flexes. The vendor freezes like a statue, his brain totally short-circuiting from the insane play. Beside him, Rossweiss cracks a tiny impressed smile. Not terrible. Muen practically vibrates with absolute awe, gripping her fists as she cheers. Papa is incredible. Noah, completely stunned and hiding a fierce blush, stammers out, "Papa is kind of cool." Utterly crushed, the vendor forces a painful grin, surrendering the loot. Incredible skill, he chokes out through gritted teeth. Deep down, he is screaming in agony. Grab your prizes and get out. Leon snatches the victory, plushies his radiant dad energy, totally blinding the miserable vendor. Appreciate the business, he cheerfully calls out, pivoting toward his squad. Seeing his girls practically glowing, Leon drops to one knee, offering up the fluffy trophies. With a ridiculously warm smile. Delivery for my princesses, he whispers. Muen absolutely beams, crushing her prize in a massive hug. Her eyes sparkle like actual stars. Thanks, Papa, she squeals happily. Meanwhile, Noah gently cradles her plushie, guarding it like a sacred artifact. She averts her eyes, mumbling softly, Thanks, Papa. Roswisa watches from the sidelines, entirely captivated by the wholesome scene. A wave of genuine shock hits her, witnessing this beautifully chaotic family dynamic. Observing Leon's gentle side, a dangerous thought invades her mind. He usually acts like a total goofball, but his serious mode is undeniably magnetic. Sensing her intense staring, Leon locks eyes with his wife, catching that mysterious spark in her expression. Her subtle gaze triggers a brilliant idea inside him. Caught staring, Roswisa blinks in confusion at his unyielding focus. Leon simply flashes a devilish smirk, leaving her totally breathless. He casually teases, I have some plans for you too, Roswise. Let us see what happens tonight. The overpowered family resumes their patrol through the lively festival, blending into the crowd. A random dragon toddler points aggressively at Roswise, yanking her mom's shirt. I want one of those. The brat whines. Panic strikes the mother as she awkwardly avoids Roswise's terrifyingly elegant presence, remaining completely mute. Little did they know, Leon's master plan was already in motion. His gorgeous, deadly wife absolutely needed her own giant plushie. Sticking to his master plan, he successfully snagged that massive fluffy beast and presented it to her. Roswise claimed the prize, hugging it tight while strolling beside their chaotic crew. Her face stayed perfectly unbothered. She barely even flinched at the tiny dragon girl's spicy shade. Besides, that jab was aimed straight at the kid's mom anyway. Leon swaggered forward, hands lazily resting behind his head, shattering the quiet tension with a cocky laugh. Did you catch the absolute panic on that vendor's face? He smirked. Dude looked so incredibly relieved to finally kick us out and dodge a total mental meltdown. The memory played crystal clear, watching that poor merchant turn absolutely ghost white when Leon ruthlessly demanded round two. The guy completely short-circuited seeing Leon's absolute dominance. Roswise, however, simply clapped back in her signature icy tone. Honestly, if I were running things, she stated with freezing calm, I would have told you to completely ditch that totally immature scam. Leon just flashed a charming smirk. Hey now, he countered, we are exploring this town together, living a little never hurt absolutely anyone. Leaning in with a cocky smirk, he teased, unless you secretly hated it. Keeping her Ice Queen aura perfectly intact, Roswise fired back. I never claimed that. Pointing straight at her, Leon boldly announced, since you tagged along, there is zero chance I am letting you leave empty-handed. Gripping that gigantic plushie tight, a betraying red flush violently conquered Roswise's cheeks. A randomly savage thought suddenly crossed her mind. To her dragon instincts, actual bears were just incredibly tasteless garbage-tier prey. They definitely could never satisfy a real hunger, but transformed into fluffy plushies, they radiated this weirdly irresistible cute aesthetic. Totally ignoring Leon's next words, she suddenly sped up, storming ahead, while that stubborn pink hue still fiercely painted her face. Glancing back with serious main character energy, she dropped a bomb. Come find me tonight after dinner, her tone dripping with absolute danger. Leon instantly malfunctioned mid-stride, those spicy words bouncing loudly inside his brain. He literally stood completely paralyzed, eyes totally blown wide with pure shock. Seconds violently ticked by, yet he stayed totally frozen. A massive, screaming question mark practically materialized in the heavy air right above his head. Later that dark night, deep inside the massive Silver Dragon castle, Leon's frantic brain just kept looping Roswise's crazy, mysterious invite on endless repeat. Pacing nervously through a super moody, shadow-filled hallway post-dinner, her dangerous trap, come find me after dinner, echoed like a cursed spell. His racing heart nearly exploded from pure hype and terrifying dread. It is super late, and I am visiting her bedroom solo, he frantically whispered. That wild realization completely scrambled his sanity. Showing up guarantees pure awkwardness tonight. Bailing means my racing brain will torture me for a solid week. Dropping a heavy sigh, Leon forcefully clenched his fists, locking in. Fine, I am seeing her. Whatever goes down tonight goes down. Radiating resolve, he marched ahead. Hitting Roswise's door, Leon slammed the brakes, dragging in heavy air. Gearing up to confidently knock his knuckles, barely grazed the frame when he realized the heavy door was creepily cracked open. Fatal curiosity completely hijacked his brain, forcing him to slowly push it wide. Slipping inside her private domain, his desperate gaze scanned the dark room, hunting for her. The unmistakable splashing of running water hit his ears, and panic instantly struck. She was literally still showering right now. Leon's traitorous eyes magnetically locked onto the bathroom, catching Rosswise's totally distracting shadowy silhouette through that dangerously foggy shower glass. Scowling hard, he glared at the ridiculously clear barrier. Who even installs this garbage tier glass? He internally screamed violently, jerking his blazing red face away. His overheated brain, totally short-circuited, fighting the spicy context. As agonizing seconds passed, his inner chaos just violently leveled up. Snapping back to earth, Leon vigorously shook his head, desperately trying to lock in. Completely ignoring his remaining survival instincts, his traitorous eyes dangerously flicked back toward that steamy shower. Did he actually sneak a peek? Total mystery. Whatever he caught was completely blurred and basically unconfirmable. Seconds later, the bathroom door opened, revealing Rosswise totally rocking her cute sleepwear. Wet silver locks stuck perfectly to her glowing skin, while thick, magical steam heavily rolled off her shoulders. Leon's lungs literally stopped functioning at that jaw-dropping visual. Locking eyes with zero hesitation, Rosswise shattered the suffocating tension with absolute Ice Queen energy. "You actually showed up. Let us begin immediately." Her voice stayed perfectly flat, but this setup felt incredibly dangerous. Leon's heart violently glitched, his cool guy persona completely crumbling into dust. The vibe felt completely dreamlike, like a natural progression, yet hitting like a massive, unpredictable plot twist. Rosswise's lethal beauty was undeniable, easily capable of completely hypnotizing any poor soul looking her way. Leon, however, was desperately fighting off massive panic as one terrifying thought invaded his overwhelmed brain. Am I actually getting my energy completely drained tonight? That heavy electric tension paused, the romantic vibes aggressively, teasing an epic late-night showdown. Fast forward several hours, and a hidden plot twist suddenly dropped. 6 agonizingly long hours later, the legendary shots finally dropped. Muen and Noah furiously swiped through the epic photo dump of their parents, Leon and Rosswise. Muen's eyes flashed with pure sparkling hype as she squealed. Mom and Dad are totally serving ultimate endgame couple energy. Noah, meanwhile, stayed totally deadpan, her intense stare locked onto the glossy prints with zero readable emotion. While Leon casually scanned through the memory pile, a strange detail sniped his focus. "Yo, there is a hidden card attached here," he stated, lifting it high. Curiosity burning in her eyes, Rosswise leaned in tight. "Let me see," that she demanded. Together, they flipped the snapshot, exposing a scribbled message from the shop owner. Their voices perfectly synced as they read aloud. "May silver starlight forever bless the gaze of your true love." Instantly, both their faces ignited into burning tomatoes. Pure panic set in as they yelled simultaneously. "Who loves who?" Leon choked out. "Who would ever love her?" Rosswise fired back. "Who would fall for him?" Completely rattled, she buried her crimson face in her hands, grumbling. "This is a massive error. Correct this picture immediately." Leon nodded furiously, desperate to agree. "Exactly. The shopkeeper definitely messed up." Fast forward. Rosswise emerged from the bathroom, her wet, silver locks cascading down her collarbones. Without missing a beat, she dropped a bombshell. "Where should we do it? The lounge or the terrace?" Leon practically blue-screened. Absolutely blindsided, his brain short-circuited while his cheeks burned with utter panic. Stumbling over his words, he squeaked, "The terrace. That is a terrible idea. What if the neighbors watch? That is way too exposing." Meanwhile, Rosswise just coolly fluffed her damp hair in the vanity mirror. "Then the living room works," she shrugged casually. "I really do not care." Leon let out a massive breath, feeling completely cornered by this wild misunderstanding. Finally groaning dramatically, he balled his fists and hollered, "Whatever, just bring it on." He aggressively face-planted onto the couch, clenching his jaw and squeezing his eyes shut. Bracing himself for the absolute worst, Rosswise stared at his ridiculous display, popping an amused eyebrow. "What in the world are you doing?" she smirked, dripping with playful sarcasm. Leon carefully peeked one eye open, his skin radiating pure awkward heat. "Wait, are we not about to, do it?" he blabbered, completely losing his cool. Rosswise, now resting like royalty on the opposite cushion with crossed legs, flashed a wickedly smug grin. Her icy confidence completely amplified the awkward romantic tension suffocating the space, leaving Leon terrified of what he just agreed to. Rosswise leaned into the joke, mocking him with a sharp smirk. "Our little Casanova looks awfully desperate." Shifting her vibe back to business, she hummed, "But tonight is off the table, maybe next time." Leon turned to stone, absolutely shattered by the whiplash. Shattering the weird vibe, Rosswise slapped down a document. Scrambling to save face, Leon bolted upright, clearing his throat awkwardly before questioning, "What is that?" Ross Weiss straightened her spine, explaining, "St. Heath Academy entrance exams. Back in the day, they used these to judge elite bloodlines. It covers a partner's daily routines, hidden quirks, and core memories." Sliding a massive stack across the glass, she declared, "We must memorize our answers immediately. Failing this interview will completely tank Noah's Academy enrollment chances." Leon snatched up the form, scanning the text with total disbelief. He scoffed. "This literally reads like a super cringe viral TikTok couples quiz." Ross Weiss arched an eyebrow, shooting back. Cringe or not, our future depends on it. Leon simply shrugged, reading ahead. They want to know. A lover's top color choice, their catchphrases, the exact location of a first date, or their favorite novels. Seriously, glancing up from the sheet, he challenged. Okay, fine. Ross Weiss, name your ultimate color. Obsidian black, she answered flawlessly, firing right back. And yours, shining silver, Leon shot back instantly. Their gazes clashed. A massive romantic realization hanging in the air. The electric tension skyrocketed until both suddenly panicked. Blushing furiously, they immediately snapped their heads away aggressively, dodging the vibes. A total random coincidence, Ross Weiss mumbled, staring at the wall. Exactly. Literally just random chance. Leon agreed, rubbing his neck while refusing to make eye contact. Coughing sharply, Ross Weiss dragged their attention back to reality. Regardless of that, we have to evaluate our compatibility right now. Bring it on, Leon challenged, clicking his pen. The duo dove straight into the paperwork, locking into absolute focus mode. Minutes later, Leon stretched his arms, smirking. Finished. Ross Weiss dropped her pen right after giving a firm nod. Time to grade. They traded the exams to judge their mutual knowledge. The final tally was shocking. Ross Weiss hit 45 points while Leon secured 58. Leon kicked his feet up, grinning like a massive winner. Looks like I crushed you. Guess I understand Her Highness better than she gets me. Staring at her failing grade, she felt totally flustered and shocked. Wild thoughts flooded her brain. I never imagined he paid attention to my tiny quirks, she internally panicked. My resting posture, or exactly how I curl my tail for maximum comfort. He pays way more attention than I realized. Her eyes suddenly locked onto one highly specific test question. Has your partner ever felt someone's gaze crush you with absolute disappointment?